Ladies and gentlemen, time for coffee with Lev and Dean. That is Lev. I am Dean, and we're going to have a spicy one today. We've got some sad news to get to today. We're going to take your questions today. We've got a bunch of people that are going to come up with us, want to have a little chat today. It's been a few days. Just before I get going, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah to my dear friend, Mr. Lev Parnas, who's been just going at it over the past several days, right? Whether you're going at it on Substack with Midas Touch, you're going at it with the Putin regime, trying to support the beautiful people of Ukraine who absolutely got hammered again yesterday. We've got some news about our friend Alex from Voice of Ukraine, just some unbelievable images attacked yesterday, a couple of days ago, trying to deliver some aid. So we're going to get to all that today. Just how are you doing, dude? Like, it's been a while, right? You've been going hard, yeah.
Yeah. So, first of all, I just want to start off by saying, I love all of you. I mean, thank you. I see everybody in there. Nick, Shane, Ellie, all our subscribers. I just want to say thank you, Pegs. God bless all of you. I mean, all of you coming in and supporting, because, like you said, I came to this movement. It's not about Showtime. That our platforms, like your platform, my platform, Zev's platform, Ellie's platform, we're here. Nick, Shane, all of us are trying to get the truth out. You know what I'm saying to you? We're trying to get to be able to go out there and really save our democracy. And people are going out there and supporting us and building and doing it. And I just can't take the bullshit. You know what I mean? I told that to everybody when I got on this platform. I said, don't invite me up if you don't want to hear the truth. Don't get if you don't want me, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. I'm here to be able to undo a wrong that I feel a lot of responsibility for. So yeah, so this week has been crazy, man. It's been just like one thing another night, and I'm here with you guys today. So keep hitting those hearts. I know a lot of you have a lot of questions, and and I'm here to answer them, and I'm here. So I know if Dean has to go, I'll still stay.
I'm in it for the long haul today. I haven't seen you
okay.
for a few days, and I miss your face.
Oh, I love you. Awesome. So let me tell you guys, we have a full detail. First, I want to tell you everybody about Alexander. I want to give you an update because all your prayers and everything. God bless you. He's alive. He's he's not out of the woods yet, but he's alive. He's alive. He's kicking, and I got a chance to speak to him today, so I could tell you, that's why you see I got smiles. I'm in a different mood. I got a lot of energy. And the best news I was able to get is we were able to get him out of Kharkiv, and he's back in Kiev now. It was very difficult because of the people there involved. Tonight I'm gonna, because there's so much to uncover and tell you of what happened. I'm gonna write a full Substack letter later today with pictures, videos, and all kinds of stuff to give you a full outline of what happened, what's going on, because they were targeted, and there's a lot. And but the most important thing I want to say is he's back in Kiev. He's at the hospital. I just don't want to say where, what, and anything, because just for security reasons.
Yeah, he'll get targeted. But was injured. There are a few of the guys in the car that they were driving were injured. They were targeted.
One guy is more seriously injured. The other guy got away with mostly scratches. Alex, right now, he has a serious concussion. He has lacerations across his eye. He almost lost his eye. It was like the doctor said, this close, his eye. He has internal. He has, I think, 4 broken ribs, or 3. I'm not sure. He has some broken ribs. I mean, right now, nothing that he can't recover. I mean, lots of pain, but thank God, nothing where but he's still not out of the woods. So he actually did a little video. This guy's a sicko. He's
unbelievable, dude. There's a picture that you posted. Everybody go to Lev Remembers here on Substack. There's a picture you posted, and he's got his camera out, and he's taking a picture minutes after exiting the vehicle, blood pouring down his face, and he's like, "Okay, I'm okay, everybody. We're gonna figure that." He just doesn't stop, dude. He didn't stop.
So I'll tell you, the guys that were there, because there was a convoy. There were 3 cars going. So the guys in the back, when they came in, they said Alex. Basically, he was sitting in the front right seat. He rolled out of the car and he was like in shock. He started going inside, dragging out generators, like he was dragging out bodies. Like he was like in this ecstatic stage. He was bleeding all over, draining, and they were like, "Calm down, calm down." He's like, "No, we gotta get this." He was in some kind of a crazy stage that all of a sudden, and then he collapsed. And then he just collapsed, and then he lost consciousness, and that's when they took him. What's it called? Because he had serious concussion. He was like, but you know, he wanted to. The one message he did tell me to make sure I give every single one of you. Besides, he loves thanks, and he can't wait to. What's it called? He says that he wants to make sure that we got the generators delivered anyway, and he made sure they videotaped it to show you how these soldiers came in the middle of the snow, were picking up, and we got the generators there. I said, "You fucking sicko!" I said, "I love you, man." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "We got the generators, we got the aid. Tell everybody it's there." And I got. He sent me some incredible videos of just mine. I mean, it's another miracle, folks. I mean, as bad as it was, but it's another miracle, another Hanukkah, Christmas,
Yep.
New whatever holiday you celebrate, it's another miracle because the way he explained, first of all, the way the guys in the back explained to me that basically there was a drone that was in the air, and the driver, first of all, it was a major snowstorm,
Yeah.
major
Yeah, it was a
snowstorm.
huge blizzard. Like you could see it behind
Blizzard,
him even right after they crashed,
blizzard,
dude. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Whiteout.
blizzard.
Yeah.
Like you could blizzard, whiteout. You can't even see where you're going, and all of a sudden he sees a drone. What the driver sees a drone, starts trying to evade the drone. It's almost impossible to evade the drone. The only way they were able to, they said that what saved him, because otherwise the drone would have probably nailed him. What saved him was the driver. They fell into a ravine, and the drone hit like right next to them, and it's just like it's all over, yeah, like all over Kharkiv. People are saying that, can't believe even like, what's going on. So, but
Jesus,
thing,
dude.
yeah, guys, he's definitely a badass. I mean, he's my cousin. I love him. The shit that he pulls lately, like, I tell him, I said, look, you got other people that could deliver this stuff, because, he went right. I mean, he was right on the
Yeah.
front line. I mean, when you see some of those pictures and videos he sent me, where they got it and who he delivered it to, Slava Ukraine guys. I mean, we are. I'm telling you, forget what Trump and all of them and Putin think they're up to. The people there have so much heart. I mean, Alexander's just one example of so many Ukrainians out there that are they know, with the Canadian support, with the American support, with the worldwide support, they're going to kick Russia's ass.
Oh yeah.
And that's, we could lead into what's going on now in Ukraine. I mean, just think about Putin unleashed today. It's so Alex says to me, he goes, left. They were bombing us in Kherson and Kharkiv, where he was in the Donetsk area. He goes, that's why they got me out of there quickly. We got to Kiev, so because he was like ran the front line and the medics, So he goes, and now I get to Kiev. He goes, and they lit us up. He goes, you don't understand what happened in Kiev yesterday. He goes, the city of Kiev was on fire, like
Hmm.
and think about. So you have Putin doing this right now. Zelensky's supposed to meet, which I broke that story a couple of days ago. Tomorrow, literally, they're meeting at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
He's having him come to Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah,
And
Zelensky actually, I don't know if you know this, he's making a pit stop in Canada
yeah,
on
yeah,
his
tell
way to
me about it.
Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, that was an interesting story too. So welcome to Coffee and Dean, by the way. Everybody get your questions in. You can chat in the paid subs. This is all about you. We're going to have some people on in just a minute. But to your point, after 500 Shahed drones, 40 missiles, hammering Kyiv all night long, city's been plunged into darkness, mostly infrastructure and civilian casualties, targets were hit again yesterday. Zelensky rearranges his meeting. And what he does is he's like, yeah, I'm going. I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. I'll come have a chat with you, young man. But I'm going to stop in Canada first. And Prime Minister Carney cleared his schedule today. He's on his way to meet in Halifax. I believe they're going to get together in about an hour and a half. And he has a bilateral meeting, a multilateral meeting set up with the Coalition of the Willing before he actually heads to Mar-a-Lago to armor him up, to suit him up, to say, this is what we will do, this is what we will not do. And we, as Canadians and as a country and as the Coalition of the Willing, are fucking lock step with you, brother. You go down there, you assert your power, you assert the peaceful nature of the people of Ukraine. You tell them we're not giving you jack shit. You cannot have Zaporizhia for your fucking Bitcoin dreams. You cannot have Donetsk. You cannot have fucking Crimea. You go in there with your balls out and you go in there with your chest out and you tell them we are right here with Vladimir Zelensky. And I got that from the folks in Carney's Orbit today. So that's literally happening in the next hour, my man.
Folks, that's some breaking news right there. That's why you make sure you follow this monster over here of Dean Blundell. That's some incredible stuff. No, I'll tell you this much from, I actually wrote an article about, I think yesterday. My days are so confused already. But yeah, no, so this meeting they're having in Mar-a-Lago, and I think me and Shane are going to do so. So, folks, Shane is also going to come up later. We're going to have lots of people. Nick is here. But Shane has been doing some important reporting on Kushner, and we're gonna do a live maybe either tomorrow during the meeting or after or Monday following up. But I just want to let you guys know this was all theatrics. The reason why Zelensky's in Canada is because Canada, Europe, Ukraine, they know. See, the media is not telling you what the game, but I told you. It's there is no peace deal. There is no 2021. What Zelensky is doing, this is all theatrics. Zelensky could turn around and say, I will give you up Zaporizhia. And you know what? Putin's still not going to take it. Because at the end of the day, Putin is using Trump, as I've been explaining to you. He needs America in it. The whole world wants America out of it. This is not about peace deal. This is about getting Donald Trump out of the situation. There's like, dude, nobody wants you. You're not giving us any weapons. You're not giving. Shut your mouth and go suck your thumb in the corner somewhere and leave everybody. Go change your diapers or something. Leave everybody alone. That's what Zelensky is going to talk to him about. See, people don't understand. You know, this is like, and Trump is going to come out there and basically try to hammer him. They've been trying to hammer him. Kushner. I love how they said, if you guys ever, those of you, a lot of people don't get a chance to hear Jared Kushner. Like he's this whiny.
Yeah, he's like a
little
fucking
thing.
little zombie, right? He's like this little fucking wafy zombie that walks through. You never hear him say, and then when you do hear him talk, he's like, it's a Law and Order, it's country Law and Order. What's his fucking problem? I thought there was something wrong with him when I first saw Jared Kushner. Is he just is he just a henchman? What is he doing? Why is Jared Kushner in and around Donald Trump? I know he's his bag man, I know he's his guy, but he's got the fucking personality of a feminine hygiene product, dude. Like legitimately.
By the way, before we get into the Alexander just texted me. He has joined us. He's in the hospital. He can't. He says he needs to listen to Dean. It makes him feel better. So he's listening. So guys, if you want to send him or text him, he is watching. He's listening. Unfortunately, he can't go live. He's in the hospital, but
Not allowed. Yeah, you just got
right.
bombed.
But he is with us. Cuz we're here. We love you. Thanks for joining. I sent him the invitation. I said I don't know if you could get it in. So I guess he was able to. So guys, that's a good sign. If he's able to be with us and watch, that's even good. So he's getting better.
Good.
Again, God bless. Thank you for all the what's it called prayers and wishes. But so let's do this because we got a lot to uncover and lots to go over. We have some special guests that are going to come up.
Sure. Yep.
So I think the way we'll do it because we have a lot of them, and then we have a lot of our subscribers and paid subscribers that have lots of questions and probably want to come up also and discuss some of these subjects because some of these subjects are
Yeah, listen. A couple of the things people they want to obviously talk about Ukraine, but there's trouble brewing at the Circle K, if you will. We had a fight between Zev Shalev and Michael Cohen, and then Lev came to everybody's common sense back and kind of forced the issue. So we got the Cohen thing to deal with because now I'm getting people screaming at me, going, "Pick a side." I'm like, I don't even fucking know what's happening. It's Christmas. And then as soon as that's done, we now have issues with Midas Touch, which need to be addressed today. And why I love talking to Lev, why we're going to do this with you. And folks, you've got questions, so we'll take your questions about both of those subjects as well. Is that when I said to Lev today, I go, are we doing this? Because these are contentious subjects, right? These have to do with friendships, have to do with business relationships, has to do with family, has to do with content, has to do with democracy. And I'll tell you what my friend Lev Parnas said to me. Abso-fucking-lutely, bro. We'll talk about everything. I want it all on the table. I am an open book. So let's just address what we're going to do here today from that perspective. Who's our first guest today?
Oh, hello. Hello.
Did you just see that, Zev? How do you do this shit? He just appeared. He was like, whoa.
I have magic tricks up my sleeve, and this is one of them. So
Yeah.
nice to see you guys. How are you?
Yeah, dude. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Likewise.
Happy
And
Hanukkah.
happy
I've been gone
Hanukkah.
a couple of days. Look at all the
Yeah.
craziness.
Oh my
Well,
God.
dude, that's what I wanted to ask you. Is like, fuck, I got inundated over the Christmas holidays with people saying, "When are you going to come to Zev's defense?" And I'm like, I don't really know what's going on other than he had a fight with Cohen in a
I think
podcast with Lev.
Zev, I think you have a little echo.
Oh, yeah? It
Yeah,
could
it's
be that
you.
I don't have my headphones on.
Yeah,
Let me
Yeah.
let me turn this down a little.
Yeah.
So while Zev is doing it, let me give you guys a quick rundown of what. So Zev has like 10, 15 minutes. That's why he's
Is this better?
special today. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect. So
Okay.
we're gonna have Zev join us. Then we have right after Zev, we have Ellie that's gonna
Okay.
join us, and then after Ellie, I think Nick Prado or Shane is going to join us, and then
Okay.
after that, it's all you guys. All your questions. You could come up for all the paid subscribers. I'm all yours. Dean's all yours. Will be here, but while we have Zev, because I know he only has a few minutes, let's get into exactly what transpired. Zev, you want it started? You want me to tell everybody
Well,
what
I don't
happened?
even know what happened since the last few days. I've been following your lives, and I know we've spoken, but I don't have the real details of any new.
Can I set the
spat
table?
between me.
Yeah, go
Sorry?
ahead. Set
Yeah,
the table.
let me set the table. So I'll take you through what I know. First of all, just so everybody's aware, we have a bit of a rift with Michael Cohen, Zev Shalev. At the end of a podcast, when Zev, if I'm to understand this correctly, you're pressing Michael about how he tried to help Trump, with NDAs, tried to brush back and push back against some of the accusations around the Epstein affair, if I'm not mistaken. The timeline and some of the stories that Michael has told about his non-involvement or involvement seem to be different than what the facts remain. You press him on it. You leave the podcast. At the end of the podcast, I just found out today.
Different podcast, actually, completely different thing. Next day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next day.
So then walk me through that. That was the impetus for it.
Let me walk you. Yeah, let me walk you through, because I know people were going after you also, because where
even
Dean
there.
said. I just want to tell everybody. Dean,
It's confused.
you can see where Dean is. Dean is here with us. Dean stands on the right side. Dean stands on the truth and nothing but the truth. That's why we're all here, because none of us here are some big corporate media sponsor. We're all independent. This is real independent journalism, folks. Not me. These, the people that are going to come up and talk. These are people that are out there really risking and doing everything to get you guys real truth, not some spin that these big media and some of even the pundits on the Substack are turning it into. And that's what we're going to talk about. So what happened is this, folks. Listen, we were having a podcast that had to do with Donald Trump when he was having a speech. Zev called up, invited a nice panel. Ellie was there. I was there. You came up for a little bit. Wajahid Ali came up, and we invited Michael Cohen. And Zev asked me, he said, is it okay if we ask questions? Or I said, oh, absolutely. I said, I have no... I couldn't even imagine why not. Why would we be doing it if you're not going to ask questions? Right. I said, ask all the questions you want. That's the purpose of our Substack. So then we get on there, we're sitting, everything went. Then Michael Kong and Zev starts asking Michael about certain questions. Now, Zev was not confrontational. Zev was not aggressive. Zev was not like trying. There's no.
No, he's none of those things.
No. But there was no. It was no. I'm saying to you, it was no "I got you" moment. That's why
it wasn't a gotcha thing at all.
It was no "I got you" thing at all. But it was leading into a time period where, because I go back with this still time period a little bit from Tara Palmieri, because Tara Palmieri had a live with Michael one time, and I wasn't on it, but I watched it. I was watching it, and they knew, and she did the same exact thing. She started asking him about a certain period of time and about a certain case that has to do with Katie Johnson, and that's a very particular individual that I, for a long time, have been trying to fight for, and you guys know that to make sure that we find out who and what, because she was a 13-year-old girl that actually was abused and had the courage to go up and file a lawsuit that these scumbags wouldn't even couldn't even deny till this day. Instead, they threatened her and they went after her and they shut her up. So it's a very it's besides all of the survivors and all of their stories, this is a very particular story, and we still till this day don't know who Katie Johnson is, where Katie Johnson is, if she's still here with us or hiding it because of all the turmoil. So here we got he gets into a major fight with Tara Palmieri, just like he did with Zev, just the
Yeah.
same exact way. So me and Tara spoke afterwards, and Tara said to me, "Hey, Lev, like, where do you stand on this?" I said, "I don't stand with Michael Cohen on this." I said, "Tara, if you want to do a live or you want to talk," I said, "I'm not." I said, "I have a lot I could add to a lot of this time period, not to exactly Cohen." And me and Zev spoke about it, but I know a lot of the players and I know the time, and I could really, ask some questions that could really set the stage. And this is where we were like 3 weeks ago prior to happening. And this was already brewing, things were already happening, and the Epstein files. And the more Michael kept coming out and saying, release all the files, the more I kept coming out and saying, he's not releasing all the files. That's like a guy saying, hey, hold me back. I want to punch you when nobody's going to let you go punch the guy. You know what I mean? It was one of those moves. I'm from Brooklyn, so I could see those little things. You know what I'm saying to you? So I kept going. And then we're having Unleashed, our regular show that we used to have with Michael, me, and Malcolm. And all of a sudden, we did not speak about Zev at all. We did not speak about none of this. But in the end, I ask everybody to join our mission to be with us. And all of a sudden, I don't know what triggered him. Michael goes off on this crazy rant. And he goes on this crazy rant, saying things like he hopes Zev chokes and stuff. And I'm like, whoa, you sound just like Donald Trump right now when you're wishing, and the more and more I started thinking to myself, I just stopped. After that, I sat down and said to myself, like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, this is a guy that keeps going on the air all the time talking about like he's disclosed everything that has to do with Donald Trump. That's bullshit. The only thing he's ever discussed that has to do with Donald Trump, and the only thing he writes about, the only thing he talks about is the Stormy Daniels little part of 14 years he spent with him. The other 14 years, he has never come out and said Donald Trump did anything bad. On the contrary, he protects him on everything else. He protects him on Epstein. He protects him on saying that he's not senile, he's not a dementia, he's this, he's going to go after. I mean, like, I started, going over and over in my head. I'm like, what the hell are we doing here? Like, I'm saying every subject, but his role is that I'm here for the people. So that was the beginning.
That's exactly right. That's what you're saying. That is exactly right.
And that's where we were. And so I want to make it very clear, and I hope Michael Cohen sees this, and I hope everybody sees this. This is not personal, Michael. I hope you, and I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm not saying you did something. I didn't say you didn't do something. What I'm saying is you know more, and I know that you know more, and you know that I know that you know more than you are telling people. That's what I'm saying. And now has come a time where it's time that I don't know if you're scared. I don't know if maybe you don't want certain people in your life to find out, maybe because of you're still associated to some of these people. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Like when I go at it, and try to expose the Ukrainian Steve Witkoff connection, Michael Cohen covers up for Lem Blavatnik because he tries to be friends. He still covers up for Witkoff and all these guys because he was friends with all of these people. And so this is why I say, and that doesn't. Right. And I'm not, again, see, this is why I want Zev there, because I'm not accusing anybody of an sexual crime. What I'm saying is I want the truth out. I want transparency. That's why we're here. If you're going to sit and you're going to tell people to send you money, and you're going to tell people to, support you, and you're going to say, then you need to be transparent. And that's why, that's all I care about. I don't care about, and I say to everybody now, if, hopefully I'm wrong and we're all wrong and Zev is wrong, because I don't want Michael to be some some kind of way. I hope he could come out and say, "Hey, Zeb, this is how. Here, Ellie, this is what. Here, Tara, this is. Hey, Lev, this is what." And we'll say, "Hey, just like I did for 6 years when I was tormented. Zev investigated me. Yeah, he'll tell you I never went back. Every time, and I told Michael the same thing. I said, Michael, why don't you go do a live with Zev and Palma and Tara and sit down and get it out? You have nothing
Yeah,
to
get to
hide.
the bottom of it. Well, listen, let's
Yeah.
if I can too,
Yeah, go
just kind
ahead.
of
Yeah, go
give a
ahead.
quick quick catalyst, and I want to throw it over to
Yeah.
Zev. It seems to be sitting around the accusation that Michael Cohen may or may not have been involved in helping make the rape attestation by Katie Johnson go away due to a series of threats. That was the tenor of the conversation for Tara Palmieri, which is why she got into it with Michael. That was again something that Michael got very angry about, very animated about with you, Zev, if I'm not mistaken. If we're going to boil it down to a catalyst, that would be it.
It was that, and it was also the Maison L'Amitié, the house
The
in
the
Palm
house.
Beach, where there was, clearly, it would be hard to assess this any other way. There was a lot of money laundered from the Russian oligarch Rybolovlev all the way through to Donald Trump through the sale of this house, something like $50 million in unusual profit at a very weird time in the market to be making that kind of profit. So, Michael Cohen admittedly says that he was the person responsible for doing that sale. He knew he was in the middle of the sale. He was the lawyer engaged in doing that sale. Now, if Jeffrey Epstein in his emails is suggesting that that was Russian money laundering, then, it should be looked at as Russian money laundering, at least from every other perspective as well. We also have a lot of evidence around this. There's a lot of investigations from the Senate as well, in the Wyden committee. So in the Wyden investigation. So you've got a lot of evidence building up around what happened in this incredible sale of this house that used to be owned by Leslie Wexner. And so that's that to me is actually the bigger, not that they're both massive, but that one to me is the actual crime that can be proven beyond any
Wow.
doubt, because there's actual money that's being flowing through. And I'm not saying that anyone is guilty of a crime. I'm not saying that Michael Cohen is guilty of a crime, but it sure looks like money laundering happened between the Russians. And even in his own book, Michael Cohen says that Donald Trump told him that it was actually Putin who bought that house and sold that house. So he even acknowledges in his own book that it might have been money laundering. So to now step away and say, this is just ordinary be real estate, this is just nothing to look at here, doesn't strike me as genuine. And because of that, it makes me want to look at it even more deeply. Like, why is this man who's coming clean, who's got all these, who says that he's helping fight Donald Trump, why is he not telling us the truth about this thing? Because it looks like, if it walks like a duck, it acts like a duck, yada, yada, yada.
So what's he hiding? You guys, like, what is Michael, in your estimation, is he hiding? Because it seems like he's got one foot in, absolving himself of a lifetime of working for Donald Trump and trying to save his reputation, if I'm reading the tea leaves correctly. But he's still got his other foot firmly in, there are just certain aspects of criminality I will never fucking talk about.
He was his fixer for many years. I don't know how many years. He was his fixer. All these allegations that keep coming up in the Epstein files about, torrid things that that Donald Trump allegedly did during his years with Michael Cohen was his fixer. Michael Cohen claims he knows none of those things, but that there are complaints in the FBI files about those things. So if he's his fixer and his lawyer, he should be able to at least say something about what happened during those periods of those years where there was all these credible allegations. I feel like, even though they were not, they didn't lead to a court charge or anything like that, but there were credible allegations. So you have to ask the question. Now with Katie Johnson, there's a lot of questions around Katie Johnson we just don't know how to answer. But he claims that he was involved in a case called the Jane Doe case. But the Jane Doe case is actually the Katie Johnson case refiled in New York by Lisa Bloom as the same case, but just filed under an anonymous name. So either there's another case we don't know about where Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were accused of rape of a child, which would be stunning if there's another case. He should tell us more about that case if there is another one that exists, or these two cases are actually just the same case, and he's remembering it as Jane Doe, but actually it was Katie Johnson that he was dealing with. Now, he says he sent private investigators to this person's house, and the house turned out to be the wrong address. Well, why are you sending private investigators to someone's house who is accusing somebody of raping
A child, a child, a
a
child.
child? Yeah.
A
Like,
child.
what
You're
is that?
sending,
Is that
so right. So
normal?
you're sending right. Is it normal to send private investigators to a child's house that's saying accused to discuss with the child? I mean, it's just there's a lot of questions and that time period. And the one thing that Zev says 100 that keeps getting me really upset because we keep doing our show Unleashed, and he keeps touting that how well he knows Donald Trump, how he 14 years, he's side by side, that nothing happened in that office without him knowing it, that he was that nobody knows him better than him. I mean, this is the same thing until these questions are asked. As soon as you ask him a question about something like Ukraine or Epstein or some of these Russian oligarchs or stuff that really goes into, there's nothing. So then I sat back and I did what Zev does. I did a little investigative work, which I tried. I don't know how to do, but I started saying to myself, I took a piece of paper and a pen and I said to myself, he keeps saying he testified 8 times in Congress. He has this pitch going, right? What did he testify? It was the same thing. It was the same. I mean, out of the 14 years, Michael Cohen has not given us anything that Donald Trump has done wrong, except for trying to clear his name in 2 things. He's pissed off about that he was accused of something
Russia.
in the Russia report, and that's why he keeps calling it fake and tries to protect Trump on the Russia stuff. I mean, it's insane. And you know what I'm saying? And then the other thing is the what's it called, Stormy Daniels stuff, which he went to prison for. So he's pissed off at him because Trump should have went to prison with him. I feel for Michael he had to go to prison for Trump's dirty work. But that's it. We're not, and that's what I'm saying to you. Like, we don't get into these conversations where he sits down and says, you know what, I remember this deal where he did with, Pecker from, or I remember him doing this with this and this. None of that. The other thing that got me really, this is where I really got, me and my wife had a conversation, and this is where my wife also said to me, Lev,
it's always the wife, eh? She straightens you out with the friends that she doesn't want you to have.
Well, no, she but she knew where I was going. She knew where I was going because she hears me. She sits. She's like my right hand. She helps me with, So when I write my story, she sees where my head is going, And I said to her, I said, you know what? The one thing I remember, because I was close in those circles. When I say close, I was a young kid. I was running around as an interpreter. I was trying to be a hustler. I was doing that, but I saw, I was not one of them. I was not accepted as a billionaire and to be in one of those parties or so. Just understand, I was like a 17, 18, 19-year-old kid. But my ears and eyes, I saw people, I saw after, I heard, so I saw what was going on. And what I could tell you is, I remember very vividly that era, the 90s and the early, and that part of the early 2000s and everything. And I started saying to my wife, I said, the one thing is, Michael Cohen keeps saying, and is that he was either CEO or president of Donald Trump's what's it called, beauty pageant,
the pageants, yeah,
the beauty pageants. Epstein was Donald Trump's best friend. Why does Donald Trump need a teen Miss USA? A teen Miss USA? Like, I mean, you already have America White, and at that time, so I started, saying to myself, like, these motherfuckers were probably somehow trafficking these. This is why, it was another way, instead of saying a modeling agency, I'm going to do a Miss Teen USA, because it's even bigger. You got all of these young girls that want to win this one prize, and they're getting all the, I mean, it's all of this starts to come to me, and I'm saying, like, why isn't Michael, I mean, okay, I can understand you want to, like, say it's not that bad, but to whitewash it to a point to say that Trump did not walk in, and you never seen Trump walk in and say that while the girls were naked, he said something crazy to the fact that I dealt with the parents, and all the parents came to all of these events and they signed consent. I was like, what the fuck is he saying right now?
Everybody knows that stuff happened backstage.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, this is this is simple. You can admit, like, this. Yeah. So these are the things that made me, and that's why when he brought my son on to try to whitewash himself, to try to make himself look like, and ask him questions. Like, I watched a little bit of that podcast. I wanted to throw up, like, talking about how, he is. Did you watch the podcast?
Well, hold it. Yeah, this is the one with Midas. Is that correct? He did.
Yeah.
Did he do a show on the Midas Network? Is that where this started to become an issue with you and Midas?
Well, they're partners, of course. Midas promotes them. That's why, that's why that was one of my issues with Midas. I mean, that's their business. They could do it. I just told them,
it's a big issue. It's a big issue.
I said, you know what? Right now, what you guys are doing is the same thing all of these people did with Epstein. They knew that there was a problem. They still dealt with them. They still was. So if you're going to go on a show with Michael Cohen and you're going to go out there and you're going to support this, sit with him and say, release the Epstein files, you better be ready that if those Epstein files are released and Michael Cohen knows something about it, don't be the one that sits there and say, I know nothing. I wasn't doing a show with him because I'll come after you also. It's a warning to all of you out there that do your due diligence. That's why.
So Michael used Aaron to justify his whitewashing of any alleged involvement with the Epstein files, with Epstein.
Not just Epstein, just his name. Because so look at the time frame. So first of all, my son Aaron is the first one that warned me to stay away from Michael Cohen. So let's start off with that. Let's call us face it. My son is the one who would say, "What are you doing, Dad? Why are you doing this show?" And I'm like, whatever. So I'm not gonna go to our personal stuff. So that's why I know this is not just like my son is just such a good kid. He's trying to cover up for these certain people in the background because he doesn't want this all like to explode because he doesn't like controversy. My son, so that's why. But my son, never did a show on Michael Cohen. Just think about how many years they've been together, Midas and all of them under Midas. My son never did a show with Michael Cohen. So now all of a sudden, right? So now all of a sudden we have this controversy with what happened with Zev, what happened with with the Katie Johnson, with the Epstein stuff, right? We have all of this going on. I'm confronting in the background Michael Cohen every day, telling him, why don't you go sit down with Zev? Because I want this open. I keep pushing it. Me and Zev speak in the background. Zev will tell you. I was the one pushing it. Zev was like, listen, I'm like, no, bro, we're going to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, miraculously, Michael Cohen needs a guest on the show Friday. And miraculously, they all share. Michael Cohen, my son, and Midas share the same producer or booker or whatever you know. And miraculously, they called my son and said, can you fill in? And my son says, sure. My son that doesn't have a time to fart, let alone speak to his own family, said, sure, I'm going to go spend an hour on Michael Cohen's show and talk about Epstein and all kind, and make it seem like Michael Cohen now running. So Michael Cohen, what's he doing? He's running around Substack and everywhere else posting it. Look, me and Aaron agree on everything. Me and Aaron, because he sets up the question like all these people are trying. Aaron, he goes to all we want. Don't me and you agree? Or we want just the files to be released. Those type of questions where Aaron has to agree with them, and it's like clickbait. No, Zev.
Look, we all have to be aware here that, and it's sad because it's getting on a family level, but these are operational things that people do in order to discredit people. You have been talking for weeks now in our shows that we've been doing that the Trump administration is building a campaign against you to discredit you. And then you have this, you have Aaron sort of weaponized, or I don't say weaponized, but certainly everyone knows that in order to get to you, boy, you get to your relationship with your son that you love so much. That's how you would, if you were doing an operation on somebody, that's how you would think. And the truth of it is, the more you become more accurate and you reveal more and you share more information, that your reporting has been pretty exemplary over the last few months. You've been telling us things no one else has been able to tell us. That obviously gets people upset.
Yeah.
And when that happens, they take action. And I've been through this myself before. I know what it feels like when you get to a certain point where you're pushing the boundaries of actual news. You're not just opining, you're telling people what's going on, which is certainly what I try to do on narrative. When that happens, they push back, and they push back because they're a very powerful network of very, very wealthy, very successful and also aligned with Russian people who are very interested in collapsing what we're doing, because they want to create basically there's this thing called what's it uh, when you create a opposition, an active opposition against you. Um,
Uh,
there's a term in Russian,
right,
it's
right, right.
espionage craft. Um,
Оппозиция.
Anyhow, but it's basically the idea is that you
Anyway,
set up and you
yeah,
basically set up your own opposition to your own self. So I'm not saying that anybody is involved in this, but there are obviously groups within the left who are also funded by malign influence and are also trying to shape the narrative from the left as much as they are from the right. And so there are very few actual independent people out there, actually, when you look at it. And oftentimes independent people are not given the limelight, are often shunned, are often put into the background, because that's just the way they like it. These guys have got power to create a network that is fully it blew up. My narrative predates MTN by years. They basically borrowed the idea from me, but good for them for iterating things. But I do find it kind of challenging to see how they've grown to the millions and millions of viewers they have, where I get shadow banned everywhere and I can't get up above a certain number. I mean, that doesn't always add up, and maybe they're much better at what they do than I am. That's okay. But all I'm saying is, in all these years, I've never been invited onto the Midas network, not once at all. And I have covered stories that you think would be right there in their ballpark for all these years. So,
and that's why Zev, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, my brother, but that is why I had my issue with Midas. They're separate issues. Michael Cohen and Midas for two. You're 100% right. And with Midas, and I spoke to Ben, and I said you became a product of your own, what you built against you when you started independent journalism. Because I remember the brothers when they started out, when they had nothing, when they had 100,000 subscribers on X back then, when they were nobody, when they were just starting out and they were just trolling Donald Trump. I was one of their biggest. If you take a look at all their interviews, I guarantee you, I'm the biggest draw of all their interviews. They made.
I would say people like you and Cohen, to a lesser extent, guys like you made that Midas Touch network, because that was when they exploded. Is when they grabbed you and started exploiting your stories, your content, your information. You started to address it. I didn't know that they existed until you came to the forefront, until you decided to start blowing the whistle, dude.
Right, except for the difference between me and Cohen. With Cohen, they were partners. So with Cohen, they're partners. That's why they promote him everywhere. And that's why I said, I mean, I'm transparent. It is what it is. Everybody got to be transparent. I'm not partners with anybody. I'm not about the dollars and cents.
Listen, partners, can I actually add something here that I think is important that everyone understands? There is an actual connection between Michael Cohen and Victor Vekselberg and a company where he received $500,000, I think, in consulting fees in 2016 to backdoor stuff to Donald Trump. A lot of money by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, you can call it consulting, which is what they called it, or you can call it something else, but I'll call it consulting because that's what they said it was. That same Vekselberg guy, it's through Intrasa, his company that his cousin runs in called Renovo in the United States, but still Vekselberg. Vekselberg is also connected, by the way, to Ehud Barak, also connected, by the way, to Jeffrey Epstein, also connected, by the way, to Peter Thiel. So,
but the funny part is you don't see Vekselberg's name in the Epstein files. You don't see any Russian oligarch name in the Epstein files. You don't see Russian mention in the Epstein files. That's another part of the story.
You do see him in the Ehud Barak emails. You do see him there.
But you do, exactly. And listen, we're going to see. I mean, we're with great investigators like Zev and Ellie and others out there. We're going to get to the bottom of it. The problem is that is why what we are doing pushing. So I do want to say this because Zev doesn't have a lot of time, and I don't like to also talk about somebody we're not here. We're going to give Michael Cohen an opportunity and to come and discuss all of this.
Yeah, I got to tell you guys, boys, I am fascinated by the story, because what it sounds to me like is that Michael would really appreciate an opportunity to, get on a Substack Live with us, and for us to say, hey, listen, we don't go behind your back. We don't tell you who you can talk to. We don't say we're going to destroy you. We're just here to get to the bottom of the story. And what is that story? What was your involvement? Is there something that you want to tell us? Is there something you want to absolve yourself of? To your point, which you said at the start of this whole thing, Lev, which I thought was fucking brilliant, which is why Zev and I, we talk about you behind your back, and it's always good. Why we love working with you, because you always, like, you mean what you say. You don't double speak. You put it on fucking Front Street, even with Ben from Midas Touch. And I happen to think they do a good job. You're like, hey, I want to talk to you. And Ben's like, I'm there. And you guys hash it out. You put it all on fucking Front Street, right? So it sounds like if Michael Cohen's a man of his word, I have no reason to assume he's not at this point, other than the fact that it would be really nice if he could help the world connect some dots, because there's some victims out there that would appreciate the help. And there's some information out there that he might have that needs to be shed light on. And if he wants to have that moment with us, we don't judge. We're more than welcome into every single person that wants to tell the truth, so that victims can live a free and happy and hopeful life, so that America can stop being fucking defrauded. What's that?
Well, let's go to the Midas Network as well.
Absolutely. Happy to do it on the Midas Network with the Midas guys.
Well, let me stop you guys and tell you what we are going to do, because that's why we're here, because I want to give everybody an announcement. We are. I've spoken also to Tara. I'm sure Ellie's going to come up. We'll see if she wants to join the panel. We are going to put together a panel, and we are going to have the Midas Touch hosted with Michael Cohen and Ben, and they're welcome to come there also. Anybody wants to come, we're going to have a panel, and it's going to be live in front of Substack. No fault. And I told, and I say, I want to repeat again, for everyone that sends me a message or sends me and tells me that I should not do this in public, that I should call, we should hash this out behind the scenes. You don't know me. I don't do that. I don't have secrets. That's why I have. You want to talk? We're not going to go behind the scenes. We're going to hash it out right here, because there's nothing to hide. Right here in front of each and every one of you. That's why you support us. That's why this is real independent journalism. We're not going to give you another CNN. That's why I told Ben. I said, Ben, I love you, but you've become another CNN. That's all I said. What Acosta? You guys, look, I don't want to sit here and bash Acosta and all these people, but look, but just think about it. I break news. I get a breaking news all of a sudden. I'll give you an example of how things happen and why I get so pissed off. Like Zev, which Zev is 100%. I feel him because I understand, because I'm not even a journalist. I get this from people that are risking their life. So I'll get one of my sources. They'll call me up and say, yo, this is going on, blah, 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 blah. I'm sitting this right now thinking, okay, how do I maximize to make sure that we get the news out quickly? Yes, I could go live, and that's what will happen. But I start thinking, who can I call and go live with me to maximize the attention, right? To get breaking news out. So who the people I start texting are Ben Midas, Acosta, Katie Fang, and the list goes on. And nobody fucking responds. and you know how I get the responses I get from people are like, I'm booked this week, or let's do something 2 weeks from now. I'm like, 2 weeks from now, I'm not. What, you're gonna promote my book 2 weeks?
It's from fucking now? Breaking news. It's not 2 weeks from now.
I'm giving you, and again, listen. I don't need to go on your show. I don't need to go. Listen, I don't need to go on your show. I don't need the irony, but break the news. What pisses me off is like this whole thing. Another thing that got to me really, what's it called? Who somebody said, listen to your son. Listen to my son. What do you mean by that? Who is that there that made that comment? What did my son say? Did you see that? Please.
Yeah, because I didn't see it. I don't know what's in reference to. Maybe they'll follow up. I'll have a peek here right now.
Yeah, because a lot of people are trying to play this game like, like this has something to do with my son. This has nothing to do with my son, so keep my son's name out of it. Don't bring my son in. My son is being used by them to go out there to tell me
it's your whole fucking issue.
Stop.
Yes.
Correct. This is the issue. So don't get involved. I love my son. Me and my son will handle everything. The one thing I will tell you that we will do behind the scenes, not in front of you, is me and my son. That I promise you. So do not worry about. So stop asking and saying, "And I love my son more than anything." I don't have a problem with my son. I have a problem with people that are trying to exploit my son, and that is what we're talking about. They're trying to use him to cover up for and whitewash their own name. So please, folks, I love you to death. We all have kids. Leave my son out of everybody's mouth. Let's move on. We're talking about breaking news. My son is not breaking. It has nothing to do with this. My son was used to go on a podcast podcast. Then you go, if you want to, you can go listen. It's boring, it's stupid, but the one thing, if you take a look out of it, that you'll get out of it. No, I texted my son also. I said that was the most boring and most podcast
Really?
ever. But yeah. Then you get,
I love you so much.
It's like he tries to be on the level with my son. You're a disbarred lawyer, criminal. My son is a genius lawyer that is out there doing the work. Don't put yourself on the same level. I see, my son didn't see it, but I watched through that hour. I see the clips that Michael Cohen wants to use to be able to put out, to try to use that. Oh, Aaron Parnas agrees, Midas agrees. Like to be able to fight what Zev and us and everybody's talking. So don't play the game.
But I will say this, because I think it's...
Please, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, I just think it's important to realize that all of this is not where we want to be reporting. I mean, I'm happy to spend as much time on Cohen as it relates to Epstein, as it relates to Trump, because I think that's very valid. Because he might know information that could help free our democracy. This is where we come down to, this is about a fight for democracy. It's about fight against autocracy. It's about a fight against the organized criminal networks. And I want to spend 100% of my time looking at what's bringing down this democracy. But there is, Michael Cohen may have some really important information to share with us. And I would want to hear from him, and genuinely want to hear from him about what he knows, so he can help protect this democracy that he says he's trying to protect. Just simply saying he didn't see anything, nothing happened, that to me doesn't fit all the evidence we're seeing. I mean, we're seeing so much evidence and it's not happening. And he's what he's commenting is not matching that. But I do wish we could get over this, because I hate everybody fighting. I don't like to see us disagreeing. I've had my difficulties with a lot of people who do over the years because of operations and reputation attacks, have not wanted to do stuff with me. At the end of the day, if we're all fighting to save democracy, that should be our number one focus.
Right, it should be transparent.
Yeah. You know what? And such a good point, because it was one of the things that happened this week. I've watched, I'll kind of get to some of the reaction. I've watched some people go, Lev should no longer work with Dean and Zev. Dean and Zev should no longer work with Lev. Michael's bad news. Lev's bad news. Dean's a gangster. Zev's a gangster. Lev's everybody's a fucking gangster. Get out of it. And you know what? That is by design. And let me just explain something to everybody watching. We got a few thousand people that are on the horn with us. These three gentlemen in front of me, they're my friends. I will ride or die with these guys when it comes to content. They have never lied to me. They have never let me down. They have always shown up. They have never, ever tried to double cross me. They have never sewered me, and they don't do that to people. So when we're talking about a gentleman who's not on this show, and he should be, Michael should be on this show. That's stuff that he's engaged with. We're talking about that, and we shouldn't be, because it distracts us from the job at hand. And the job at hand is saving democracy. The job at hand is affirming and informing you that you're not crazy, that we have a job to do to save democracy, and there are always going to be double agents when it comes to content in this space. I watched some people that you and I have had, Zev, on the show in the past from the Radicalized Pod, go after us here on Substack. No idea why. That's from the extreme left, to your point. On the extreme right, you have other people saying the same thing, whether it be Juno News or the same mouth-breathing cucks from MAGA, Maple MAGA, saying the same thing. And all they're trying to do is destroy our reputation and upset the fruit basket and the synergy in these reputations and the work that we do. And it's not going to fucking happen. Like, I don't know what I need to tell you, but that man's Lev Parnas, sitting across from me, has done time in fucking solitary confinement. I've been in the hinterland for a long time. Zev has gone through the career cul-de-sac. We found each other. We're not letting go, and we're not letting go of the truth, and we're not letting go of getting to the bottom of it. And if anybody out there wants to interject their kind of bullshit idea into our relationships in our world, we're not going to put up with it. We're just going to keep going forward. And we're going to spend as little time on this shit as possible, because we're not the stories, right?
Yeah.
Midas Touch isn't the story. Lev's not the story. Zev's not the story. The story is Donald Trump in America. The story is pedophilia. The story is victims that have lived in horrific PTSD, anxiety-filled lives for the past 30 fucking years. We're not taking our eyes off that. And we're going to keep going forward. And I just need to say that before you leave, Zev. I want everybody to know that these three gentlemen on this call, we're fucking lockstep. And that's not going to change, for democracy, for the truth, for the right thing.
Absolutely. And before Zev goes, I want everybody out there, make sure go hit that Chiron. Make sure everybody goes follow Zev and Dean, cross-pollinate, build a community. Now, what I mean, one of the things I just want to say, and I never do this, and I talk about with people, but it was a comment that Michael Cohen made to me that really got me really going. When I said to him, "Why don't you respond to Zev?" You know what he said to me? He said, "He only has 17,000 subscribers. Who the fuck is he?"
Yeah.
So that says something to me, and I want to make sure that to all of you out there, because that's power. He's right. Power is in numbers. Zev should not have 17,000 subscribers. I should not have 80,000 subscribers. Dean should not have 30,000 over subscribers. We should have millions. But the reason we don't have all of these subscribers is because what's happening on Substack, and we'll talk about Midas in a second when Zev leaves. We'll get Ellie up here in a second. But what's happening is we're seeing on Substack right now a different version of what we see corporate media happening.
Absolutely.
We have the same people that left corporate media, the CNN, MSNBCs. They have come now to Substack. They have now put the same formula. They've put the same programs in touch. It's the same Acostas and the same people. And the Midas Touch is your next CNN. And that's what is happening. And independent journalism, people like Zev, Dean, Ellie, Shane, and keep going. These people, because I'm not an independent journalist. I don't consider myself. I'm just trying to get to save our democracy any way I can, crawling it step by step. So that's what I want to say to you. It's very important. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about the only way we're going to be able to save our democracy, the only way we're going to be able to beat the evil is if we join forces and stop, I don't know what other word to use. In Brooklyn, they would say cock block. They have to stop. I'm sorry, and I apologize for it, but they have to stop it.
What, for cock block? I love cock block. Yeah. Cock block's one of the best phrases in the world. Use cock block all the time. Yeah,
good term.
But it's true. They have to stop doing it. Like Midas, Acosta, all of them. They need to continue promoting independent journalism, and then we will say that's what independent. Like Midas should have Zev. Well, I can't believe Zev was never on. You know what, Zev? I can't believe, because think about 10 months. Why am I fighting? They haven't reported any of the news I've broken. Just think about that, Zev.
Because all the stuff we're reporting is very touchy, in the nose stuff that is on the outskirts of what they consider acceptable. So, you just
how would Midas Touch not want all that context from the past 40 years of profit taking?
No idea. I have no idea. I'm a good resource for them, regardless. I can tell them a lot about Epstein. I can tell them a lot about Donald Trump.
And the same thing with Ukraine. Why the fuck wouldn't they want your tip reporting on Ukraine? Like, why wouldn't they want the insight?
But Zev, that's and that's what I want to say to everybody out there. So again, same as I started with Michael Cohen, I want to make very clear about Midas. We are not bashing Midas. I'm not here to bash Midas. I'm not here to get to try to go after them or insult them. The things I'm saying to you, I said the same thing to Ben in his face. I will say I don't go behind the back. I think that Midas needs to fix some things, and I think they could be great. I think they're great. They've built an incredible, great platform. But I think sometimes, and this just happens in life, I've seen it all the time. We sometimes start off trying to beat something, and then we become, over time, not realizing that same product of that same environment we try to change. And that's what I think is happening with a lot of it. And that's what I want to change. But Zev, I love you, brother. Please, everybody go subscribe. We're going to continue, Dean. I just want to bring Ellie up because Zev has to run.
Thanks, guys.
You, brother.
Dude, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Really nice to see your beautiful smiling face. We'll see you Monday.
Nice to see yours. And I'm so glad Olex is okay. And
thank God.
And that's just great news. I think everyone's just thrilled to hear
that's
alive and well.
That's the best news we got today. Thank you, Zev, my brother.
Thanks,
Have a
guys.
great day.
Talk to
you,
soon.
Big Cat.
Bye.
We'll see you Monday.
Bye.
All right. There you go, Zev, at the end of his Christmas vacation, coming to us from parts unknown. He wouldn't even tell me where he was. I'm like, where are you going? He goes, none of your business.
I love it. All right.
Some really salient points before we bring up Ellie. And I know that's who you're going to bring us up. Ellie, who's just incredible, Ellie Leonard. Salient points there is that we're just a bunch of people moving in the same direction. And if you're going to try and throw a spoke in the wheel, we're just going to keep fucking moving forward. And we're going to ask for accountability. And we're going to need you to prove that you are right. We're going to need facts. We're going to need, if we're going to move this thing down the road, we're going to need people like Ellie Leonard, ladies and gentlemen.
Guys.
Epstein Files historian. Can we call you that now? Epstein files historian?
I was going to
Probably
say
not.
that. No, I was going to say beyond historian. I mean,
Yeah.
incredible.
Unqualified for anything. I feel like I'm here with, I have like a classical history degree. I've just qualified for nothing, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants.
I love you. I love it. She's great. She's incredible. When I saw some of her work and we caught up, and I started going in and reading and looking the stuff and watching. I mean, incredible. And that's why I said I was looking through my messages. Saying, I need to find Ellie. How do I get in touch with Ellie? I was like, I need. And then I'm seeing I saw. Oh my God, she sent me a patriotic. I didn't even see it. Yeah. Right. I was like, oh my God, Ellie.
I know.
So we are in touch.
The Substack messages are so hard because it's hard to see anything in there just because they go so fast. So
everything is just Substack is, but it's getting better. They're trying, and we'll fix it. One thing before we get started, I wanted to just respond to somebody. I saw somebody wrote in there about please be careful your mental health and everything. I want to be very clear to everybody. I appreciate it and I love each and every one of you. And I agree with you. Mental health is very important. We have to be very, especially times like this. But I am totally fine. I've never felt better in my life. The fact that, and we'll discuss it, the fact that part of the campaign to try to discredit me was, instead of confront me, was to put out a mass email to everybody saying that there's something wrong with me. And
who did that?
That was. I'm hearing it was Brett Midas. I'm not sure if it was Brett or if it was somebody. Ben said he had no ideas, and I give him the benefit of the doubt that he didn't know who responded. But the fact that
just a recap, like people were sending them notes saying, "Hey guys, what's going on with you and Lev? Why don't you credit his reporting, et cetera, et cetera? Why are you using his son, all that other shit?" And their response in this email, and you've sent it to me, I've seen it, which was. And I sent you a note the next day. I'm like, I still can't believe they sent this out. Was to send an email or text out to certain people saying basically that you're not well and they wish you nothing but the best as you try and get your life together. I'm like, what the fuck was this? I know this man very well. There isn't a goddamn thing wrong with him.
Well, they used the emotion of a father getting angry that his son is being used, and when this happened, I did what I do. Instead of calling them on the phone and screaming and going through this phone, I said, you know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go live on Substack, and I'm gonna let the whole world know. We're gonna put it out to all our subscribers and let everybody know. So when I came on that first night, I was very not the usual Lev you see. I was cursing, I was aggressive, I could see where people could have said, "Oh my God, something's wrong with Lev." I could see it, and that's why I wanted to come on and say, make sure I'm all good, folks. But what bothered me was the fact that they tried to capitalize on it and they try to move on it, and because I'll tell you, I have not, so many people have picked up on it and are going out there and saying, "Oh, Lev is crazy. Oh, Lev is rambling on. I unsubscribe to Lev because he's, what's it called?" So because they have a powerful voice, they're like Donald Trump. They see this is what they don't understand. What my problem is with them is they have such a powerful platform. They should be like when Ellie broke all that stuff about Wolf. She's breaking like incredible stuff that nobody. How come she's not on Midas, and how come there's not a whole section? We're not talking about Wolf. When Zev is talking at, and Ortera is asking these questions about Michael Cohen, how come Midas is not bringing them up and saying, let's ask the questions? This is my problem with Midas. I'm saying to you, I'm saying you guys, wake up. You're good guys. You built this platform for the people. You built this platform. You have such a huge, why I got pissed with them. I said about Ukraine. I said, just think about it. I said, we're trying to raise 100. We got a Christmas miracle. We have 40. We got right now, Odessa is without light. People are dying. No light. We found a miracle. We found 40 generators. We're, as a community, raising generators. We raised like $30,000. We went and bought these generators. Alex got almost killed yesterday driving these generators. And I said to Ben, Ben, think about your platform. If you would have went on one time with me and said, hey, folks, we need to get Ukraine generators, we could have lit up the whole fucking Ukraine with all your subscribers. We could have raised $1 million and gone bought as many generators or done whatever we can and made a real difference instead of having my Alex drive around in a truck with 3 generators to try to deliver. I said, did you not see the Christmas miracle that when that preacher stood there and said, what's it called, that our church got blown up? up. We had no money. We did not even know how we're going to get a generator. But what we did is we went, I still cry till this day. We went and built a place to put a generator. I swear, I feel like it's a movie. I replay it all the time. I can't believe it actually happened to us in our life, where Alex is sitting across the street and comes and sees this broken up church. And the pastor says, we built that place is that one day it was to get a generator so our kids could maybe have a Christmas. And Alex goes in his car and brings out a generator that you folks help support. So that's my problem with Midas. They could use their platform for so much more. And I don't care about, you want to clickbait, people say you got to, that's business. You know what I'm saying to you? They got, you want to do, but don't destroy the little guys. Don't make it so, like us, we don't have paywalls. All you guys have paywalls all over the place. And that's why people can't go support you and then support Ellie and then support me and then support somebody else, because it gets too expensive. Like I don't want, like I said to Ben, I said, we do Ukraine. I don't want one fucking paywall on any of my information. Whatever we do, I don't want paywalls. I said, I'm not there to try to just to capitalize and make as much money. I said, I'm here. I want the information out. I said, you know what? God's good. Believe me. Once we save our democracy, once we get Putin out of office, once we get Trump out of office, I said, believe me, God will show me a way how to monetize. I've made money my whole life. I don't give a fuck. I'll be good. Trust me. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm not here for the monetization. I'm here to, yes, do I need it to be able to support my family? I'd never lie to you. Absolutely. Each and every one of you paid subscribers, make sure that Ellie, me, Dean, we could go pay our bills, subscribe, because right now, this is what our life is. This is what our job is. We don't have, corporate media sponsors. We don't have billionaires. So then, yeah, we do. And that's why I also get upset at them, because then we have people that have huge followings that should be promoting and helping all of us be able to survive. So we should all be their contributors. They should have somebody calling up Ellie every morning, say, Ellie, you got any breaking news, any stuff going on? You know what I mean? And, hey, Zev, what do you got on Epstein? That is independent journalism. That is the fact that we see CNN say, "Oh, breaking news! Trump has done a 180 and he's going after Putin," and then you turn on Substack and every single one of them is saying the same thing. What are we doing? So that's my complaint. That's where I'm sounding the alarm. I'm saying, let's not destroy the word independent journalism, what it really is. And let's really promote independent journalism by the big guys. And that's why I say it's not about fighting. I did not build my platform to fight. It's to unite. We want to unite. We want to build stronger. That's the only way we're going to win. So I'm sorry with that rant, Ellie, but
Oh no,
welcome.
I was just gonna say, I think people get really afraid to go against or to speak out against people who are kind of on the same mission. So like if you say Midas touch and they know that Michael Cohen is lying and doing something wrong, they go, oh, I don't want to call him out because he also is trying to take down Trump or take down Epstein or whatever. And you have to be able to be willing to be called out in order to make a bigger statement, because we are now in a time where we have to be accurate and we have to be truthful and we have to get it right, because if we don't get it right, then we completely lose our credibility. So like if somebody lands in my DMs and says, hey, you got this piece wrong in your last article, whatever, I'm going to go look at it and I'm going to make sure that either I did get it right or that I do get it right, because we don't have backing, so we have to be accurate and credible. And so I think people need to stop being afraid of calling people out, whether it's in private or whether it's in public, but like say something so that we can be a team and we can work together, because we're going to be way stronger together than we are all separated and upset and all this stuff. And I think it's totally possible, but like somebody like a Michael Cohen needs to, I was saying in the chat, like the first step of recovery is admitting that you've got a problem, right? Like
I'm an alcoholic. Yeah.
Right. He will be so much better off and safer and more productive and, bigger when he admits the things that he's done and he can move forward and like do the things that he wants to do, that he's trying to do. But right now he's so afraid and like covering himself and protecting himself that he's like spinning his wheels and he's getting people mad at him and there's no trust. Like I don't trust him either. I was in that meeting with you guys. I don't know if you saw how uncomfortable I was. I've got a lot of
Yeah,
DMs about
I
that.
watched your face a little bit during that, and I can tell you that there's one thing I know about my friend Ellie Leonard, not a fan of confrontation.
No, I am not a born journalist. I am not gonna I was just like I was having these flashbacks of like watching my parents argue and getting all weird and performative and like dancing into the room and like telling jokes and trying to fix it. I'm not good at that. And so I'm sitting there and I'm listening and I went into that open because okay, let me backtrack a little. So I've never met Michael Cohen. The only interaction I've ever had with him was I had spoken up because in the proffer with Ghislaine Maxwell and Todd Blanche, she had said the name of a Jane Doe and it had not been redacted. And this was not a public Jane Doe. And so I had been talking about that. I'd been trying to like get the word out without saying the name of this woman that a name of a Jane Doe had been exposed. And so I was watching one of his lives, and when I was in the chat, I wasn't even saying anything. People started mentioning this thing that I had been bringing up. And he thought that I had been talking about Katie Johnson, which I wasn't. But that's who he thought I was talking about. And he started getting really upset and bringing up my name and getting very defensive. And meanwhile, I'm not saying anything in the chat. I'm just there. And I remember thinking like, that is wild. Like, why is he so upset? Why is he so defensive? Like, he's never met me. And then, we got off the chat and I kind of just like, well, maybe he'll forget about this and forget who I am. And I think he did. And then I ended up in this panel, last minute. And I was like, oh, it's Michael Cohen. And I don't think and I was just like, it's like 10:30 at night. And he goes, oh, Ellie. And I was like, hi, Michael Cohen. And then this whole thing happened with the Katie Johnson thing again. And I just thought, that's twice. There's something very uncomfortable there. And then the thing that stuck with me that he said was, in all the years, 14 years that he worked with Donald Trump, he never heard the name of Epstein once. And that's impossible. That's
Impossible.
Like I can't wrap my head around that could ever be true.
Thank you.
And that was a thing where I went, hold on, we're not there yet. And so yeah, and
that's a nice way to say we're not there yet.
And Zev was so level-headed. I'm just like, oh, okay, so he's so much better at me than this. And so I'm like messaging him like offline. I'm like texting him and I'm texting Nick like, what's going on? And then I was like, Zev, go, keep going. But meanwhile, I'm just like shriveling into like this little hole and trying to disappear. But I'm glad I was there for it. I just, I also know my strengths and what are not.
So can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. You've obviously been through every single one of the Epstein files, pictures, emails. You're one of the very few people on this planet that has. We've got Lev Parnas with intimate knowledge sitting across from us, from the people, from 20, 30 years of knowing each individual actor. And he's asking for transparency. You're listening to Michael Cohen kind of dance around Zev's questioning about whether Jane Doe is Katie Johnson. Did you read anything over the past, I don't know, couple of months, specifically in the latest, last two tranches that we've seen where you're like, okay, Michael Cohen is definitely, he definitely needs a timeout. And Michael Cohen definitely needs a come to Jesus moment because there is no way he doesn't know anything about this.
I think no. And I haven't come across his name at all. But I also think in those first couple batches, it was going to be to take down anybody who couldn't take down Trump. You know what I mean? Like, so he's not, even though Trump and Cohen are on the outs, Cohen knows a lot about Donald Trump, and he's not going to he's not going to mess with him because he knows he's if he provides us with documents that has Michael Cohen in him, then that opens up Michael Cohen to unleash everything he knows about Donald Trump. And so I think he's probably being a little bit careful with that. So the first batch is now we have this last batch that's 30,000. I've gotten through 4,800 pages of it. There are 30,000 pages of it. So I've still got a ways to go.
Let's fucking go.
Every night. I'm sitting here like my scroll button has like a crack through it. So
I'll get you a new one.
Okay, thanks. But I if he's in there, he's gonna show up, and the redactions are getting worse and worse. I've gotten to points where like the redactions are like you can see the letters above and below the redaction, so you can still read their names. I think people got a little frantic. And so I don't know, but I just find it impossible. It's all these people. It's all like the Michael Wolffs and the Michael Cohens being in the room for a decade plus and not knowing anything it's impossible to me. I can't fathom it. Yes.
Lev Parnas, hand up. Yes, Lev, go ahead. Welcome to Coffee and Tea with you and me.
I'm like Arnold Horsek. I got. So let me help you guys, because Michael Cohen was definitely in the records, and we've already seen it, but we just skimmed through because Michael Cohen is a genius how he manipulates everything. So if you don't remember, Epstein texted a congresswoman while Michael Cohen was up there asking her to ask him questions about what Michael Cohen knows or doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So that pretty much shows me that Epstein knows Michael Cohen and knows what. I'm not saying that they personally know each other, but the fact that he's talking about Michael Cohen. He's talking about
ask him this.
Yeah, okay. So
Stacey Plaskett, right? Yeah.
You're right. That's true. Thank you for reminding me. They do talk a lot about Michael Cohen's prison sentence. Like he's following that very avidly. Are there interactions between Michael Cohen and Epstein in the emails? Or there's nothing like that. But he's avidly following the people in Trump's life who are going to prison, like by the day, sending all the links to all his buddies, and like, can you believe this? He's following that very, very closely.
And again, I want to make it very clear. Michael has been with him 14 years, very close at the hip. Also, a lot of people, when they forget, when they hear the Trump organization, they think, oh, thousands of people working. It's Michael Cohen. They don't see. No, that's not how the Trump is a micromanager. It's, like Michael always, just listen to what Michael tells you. There's 2-3 floors. They're all set, him and Junior and all of them. It was him and Weisselberg ran the whole thing. Everything. Just think about how, if you take a look and a time period in life about what happened Stormy Dales, I want everybody, and that's why I want you, Elle, I'm going to put you on the right track for you to go in, okay? So if you take a look at that time period, how Michael Cohen extensively tells you second to second what happened, who did this, remembers everything.
Photographic memory.
Yes. And then you take a look at everything. If you go look at Michael's relationship with Vexelberg, with what's his name? Lev Blavatnik. Lev Blavatnik. When you take a look at Steve Witkoff, he knows for 20-something years. All of these, So now Michael Cohen doesn't give you any information about any of them.
Yeah.
He doesn't. There's no besides that. So everything else, Michael Cohen goes either dark or Michael Cohen protects Trump in a way. The biggest thing, and Ellie is 100% right. Michael Cohen knows for a fact that some of those things, for Trump to be able to go after Cohen, he would really go after himself, and that's why Cohen. If you know this, I'm sorry, Ali. If you know this, one of the other thing that he does, these are important things that, because I've dealt with some of the most powerful people in the world, and I pick up on these things. He keeps saying, I don't care. I don't want to speak speculation. I don't want anybody to speculate about anything. He goes, I just want you to release all the files. Release all the files, and then we don't want to speculate because I don't speculate. He says that because he knows they're not going to release all the files. He knows that he doesn't want to speculate because he's the one they're going to speculate about. Go ahead, Elliot.
I was gonna say, I was really, really surprised that he brought up that he was part of the deal with that house in Palm Beach. I thought, I feel like he probably wished he didn't say that because, in these emails that go back so far, they're going back to almost the 90s, like when nobody suspected anybody was going to be reading the emails, they were not going to be a part of any record or FBI. You have Epstein kind of dropping these little hints of the things he knows about Trump, and most of it you can tell that he's talking about offline with his buddies, and then they sort of like email, but they're speaking about it offline and we're not reading it. The house deal and the corruption of the house deal is the one thing that he just dumps on, because he's like, here's the details, here's what went down. Trump didn't have $44 million, but all of a sudden he did. And then he turned around and he doubled it and he sold it off to the Russian oligarch. And then he talks about like the like the electrical union, like mob issues, and like he just starts dropping all the stuff about this house, and that's the one thing he's very, very clear about, and had no idea anybody was going to read, which I do give credibility to. You know, if he thinks nobody's reading these emails, then I give credibility to the things that he's saying. So when Michael,
Absolutely.
so when Michael Cohen just like gives us, he's like, yeah, I was on that deal. I was thinking like maybe you probably shouldn't say that, because now we want to know, because now we think that you probably know more than you know and you're not saying it. So
Oh yeah.
that was a big part too.
And you gotta also remember, which I'm gonna give a lot of more breaking news to you
Mhm.
folks, so that you know you could go do a little, because when we bring Michael Cohen on, we could talk about all these things. See, people don't see. I know Michael Cohen for over 40 years. I know Michael Cohen's whole history. I know his uncle. I know all the gangsters he's been around. And there's also a very interesting person in Michael Cohen's life that nobody ever talks about. What brings Michael Cohen into that world of Russian organized, whatever you want to call it, is Michael Cohen's father-in-law.
Yeah.
And that was a
Which you
very
kind of brought up. You kind of brought up, and then there was like, ah.
okay.
I
So
was
Do
spiraling
tell.
at that point.
so again, we're not bashing Michael. We're not. It's
Mhm.
not about bashing Michael Cohen. The
Right.
reason why we're saying these things is because Michael Cohen himself has put himself in this position because
Right.
of the way he's reacted to Tara Palmieri, B, the way he's reacted to Ellie, C, the way he's reacted to Zev, and he tried to whitewash it all by taking my son on the show and pretending everything is lottie-dottie. So
Right.
that's why we're here. We are going to put together, and Ellie, I invite you to be on that
Yes,
panel
I'll be
with
wrapped
us.
in a blanket.
Yes, yeah. We wrap that back in.
I'll be drinking tea and trying to stay calm.
And we are going to definitely get to the bottom of it. We're going to put together, because look, this is what I want to say. I
think
believe.
that's the whole thing, Lev. Like,
Well,
listen,
yes.
you and I, we've had a very constructive conversation about the beef here, right? And all we're doing, like men and women, is we're saying, hey, it doesn't make any sense. There's some stuff here that needs to be explained. Can you explain it? More than happy to have you on to come and explain it, Michael. If you're watching, if you're listening, or if you're seeing this another time, I don't have an axe to grind with you. There are some inconsistencies here that would dictate that you might know some things that might be able to help some victims here, that might be able to help clarify the record, that might be able to help to set the record straight, that might be able to help people get freedom from the pain that they've been living under for a very, very long period of time. And I think at some point in time, everybody's going to have to decide, like Lev did, which is why he became an award-winning whistleblower and an American hero, like everybody else does when you grow up a little bit. What side of the equation do you want to be on when this whole fucking dance is over?
Right.
Right.
I think,
That's
and I think Lev and Michael are just reacting two different ways from having dealt with going to prison for Donald Trump. Like you've come out stronger, you've come out louder, you've come out more forceful and more truthful. And I will say it took me a minute to make sure that that's what you were doing. Like I was like, okay, I have to, and then and I started following you, and then we started talking, and I was like, okay, we're good. And I was giving Michael that too, and I didn't get that from him, but I think he's also reacting to having gone to prison for Donald Trump in a way that he just never wants to go back there. And so he's kind of falling back on his old ways of some dishonesty and protection of himself and probably his family. But he needs to remember that he holds a lot of power. If he comes clean, he holds a lot of power.
And you said something very important, Ellie, and this is why I want to make it clear also. And I understand, because we're dealing in a very dangerous time. And if Michael Cohen, and I understand that he probably has some things that he's scared of because of Trump being in such power. But my problem is, if that's the case, get off of this platform. Stop running around and playing both sides, and that you're going to save them out. I respect you. If you're worried that go hibernation, go do your thing. Let them, you don't want, but don't come on here, attack people like you, attack people like Zev, attack people like Patera, do all of this stuff, make these shows, that's why it kills credibility from when you want. That's why, like I said, why does Zev have to have 17,000 subscribers? He should have hundreds of thousands because he's breaking news. It's because you have people out there that are, and so we're not causing this war. So, the Michael Cohen sycophants that attack me and say, "Oh, you guys are," no, you guys just like the Jerry Springer shows. You like to, to go on there and hear regurgitated stuff, and you enjoy it. And God bless you. That's your prerogative. I don't do that. We don't have those shows. I don't. I'm not. I'm not Donald Trump, and I'm not Michael Cohen. These guys. There's a reason they were together for 14 years. I always say that to Michael's face. I said, "There's a reason you guys have been that close." He imitates him. They're very close in the way they think, and the fact that Michael, that's still I can't
similar
get
reaction and anger to hide things, right? Where he gets angry and he puts up a big front. Yeah.
Right. That's the whole thing. If you take a look, is when they get confronted, they're like aggressive, and that's what Michael Cohen. That's why they were together. He was his fixer. He was his pit bull. People seem to forget because of the Stormy Daniels stuff that Michael, it was not the sweet little guy. Michael would go at you and rip your heart out. Michael, trust me when I tell you that if you would have known Michael before he went to prison, you wouldn't have stood next to him. Remember, this is a guy that would want to take he would probably still take a bullet for Donald Trump if he gave him a pardon. So I'll put it that way. That's my feeling. But that's nothing bad about Michael. I mean, it's just that's who he is. But again, let's not keep riffing on Michael. We are going to do an official show. We're going to give him an official invitation, and we're gonna I'm gonna ask Midas to put it on their platform so we could get the most viewed audience of it, and they're also welcome. We'll ask Waj if he wants to come. We could have a very big panel.
Oh, invite Aaron back so we can get a redo. We'll get us all on the same thing.
I don't. I want everybody to leave Aaron out of it.
All right.
Aaron, unfortunately, because of these assholes and all of this, me and my son Aaron are not speaking right now because it's like
I'm sorry, dude.
And I love I love him more than anything, but he's now put in this weird position. So it's hard, but he's a big boy. We will get through it. God is good, and the truth comes out and everything. And like I said, he might be pissed at me right now, but one day he'll thank me because he does not need to be associated and doing interviews with Michael Cohen. He has his own platform. He needs to go and continue doing what he's doing. He's doing an incredible, great job, and he doesn't need anybody. He needs to be the independent journalist that he is. That's my.
I got a question for you, Zev. This is and people have asked us a few times, so we'll consider this to be one of our first questions. What happens with Unleashed? What happens with some of the podcasts that you do with Michael? Like, have you guys spoken since, and what's the plan for some of the content that you do?
We have not spoken. Michael has texted me a couple of times, honestly, truthfully, that he said, "Please, you're my brother. We are, let's speak. Let's make this up." And I did not respond to him, but I will respond to him. Say, Michael, I said to you, and I'm saying, I definitely am not blaming you, and I hope I will be the first one to apologize to you in front of everybody. I'll be the first one not only to apologize, write a letter, do whatever it takes to apologize and say, I'm sorry for whatever. If I cause you any grief by what I'm doing now, but I truly do not believe I am, Michael, because I truly believe you, and I, not that I believe, I know for a fact you know a lot more. Me and you lived in that world. We know the same people. We know what's going on, and it is what it is, and and it's time to tell the truth. And the other thing I wanted to say is, Ellie, just make sure put a time slot. Everybody on Monday at 11:30, I'm gonna have. I'm not gonna mention a name yet, but one of the Epstein, the survivors' lawyers with me as a special guest on Lev Remembers. We'll also be talking about this stuff, trying to see how we could get more for the Epstein survivors. And there's going to be an incredible 11:30 show, and maybe so be there. So if there's anything you want to come up or help out or give any information to the lawyers because it's part of the show is going to be part of how we could make sure to keep the pressure on and making sure that we get the full transparency of the files, and which we're not going to, but at least we could weave through the bullshit with the help of Ellie, Zev, and others to be able to, like sometimes we might not get like the actual gun with the fingerprints, but enough circumstantial evidence is, like I said, it is what it is. The other thing, Ellie, if you could look into, very important, and this is the time frame, is some of my sources have been telling me to look into Trump and Epstein's relationship and emails with a Miss Teen beauty pageant. That there was also some sort of link to it, and and that's why I think Michael has a lot of fear also what's going on. So
that's
if you could
probably a very strong link. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
and if you remember, there was a dude who was a judge on the Miss Teen USA panel who put out a viral video this last weekend, basically
trying
saying,
to get him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him. I already have people trying to
figure
judge.
good.
Yeah.
Because he brought up a good point. Is that it kind of leans into the stuff that Michael did or didn't see, or anybody around Michael that did or didn't see anything. There's like the Nancy Odells and the Billy Bushes of the world. Everybody that was involved in Miss Teen USA, right? Is that you need to start having conversations with those people. There are no heroes in that circle of celebrities as well. People that have that information, right?
Did you see that letter? Did you see the letter from Donald Trump to Vladimir Putin inviting him to the Miss Teen USA pageant from 2013?
No,
I didn't see that. I can't believe. Wow. Yeah, that just
he wanted him to come. He was like, "We would love to have you here." 2013, running for president 2 years later.
Yeah, and Michael was the president or CEO of Miss Teen USA. So, folks, we have a lot. I just wanted to say we have a lot of questions. We're not going to stop. Ali, thank you so much for joining us. Please stay on, because I think we have Shane joining us next. We have a whole bunch of people, but stay on, please.
Thanks, Al.
Keep texting.
Yeah.
And we'll stay offline. We'll talk and we'll put this together and we'll figure this out. Keep doing the incredible work. Please, everybody, if you have not subscribed, make sure go become a subscriber to Ellie, and not just a regular subscriber, please. These are real independent journalists. This is where if you have the extra $5, $8, $7, this is where you want to put. Not otherwise, go watch CNN. You will need to support independent journalism like Ellie, like Zev, like Dean. Keep going, okay? Ellie, love you.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Al. Talk to you soon, kiddo. All right. Yeah, you bring up a great point. People like Ellie, who literally just left her day job because people here have supported her to the point where she's the only person that's read pretty much every single, and she doesn't fuck around with these emails and documents. She actually puts them up and says, "Here you go. Here's what I've transcribed it all by hand." Right. So have a little bit of Ellie in your life, ladies and gentlemen. You need it for sure.
Definitely. I was gonna say, hold on. Let's get Shane up next.
Shane Urak, Firebrand. Shane.
Yeah. Shane,
dude's good at this. I like Shane.
Shane has. We're gonna definitely.
Shane's got some news.
Yeah, Shane, can you text something so I can bring you up? For some reason, I can't. My Substack. So Shane, just write something in the message, and then as soon as I see it, I'll be able to click and bring you up. Let's bring Nick up. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for Shane, we'll bring Nick up.
Nick Perro. Veteran Nick Perro, banner and backbone.
Yeah, let's get Nick up here.
He's a poet too, by the way. He's one of those guys that I found on Substack. I'm like, he writes poetry, and he's also trained to use any weapon on the planet. I like this guy.
Yeah,
Nick Perro, ladies and gentlemen.
Not any weapon on the planet. I can't use them all.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have Nick on tour with me, definitely.
I will say I am a good shot. I was an expert marksman. When I was in the Army, I was 40 out of 40 on my M4, and I think it was 30 out of 30 on my 9mm. So I'm a pretty decent shot.
Oh, you're hired. You're hired. Yeah, you're gonna. Well, I'm a little stand right next to Lev Parnas around the United States of America for the next couple of years.
Maybe I'll stand on the other side. I'll keep a little bit of distance, Lev. I love you, my friend, but that seems dangerous.
I love you guys.
And I see Shane's also in the comments, so you may start seeing him filter in.
Yeah, as soon as I see him, I'll pick him up and we'll
absolutely.
Because
he's got a ton more breaking news and more important news, because he digs into like the Kushner events, and I think you and I and Shane have talked a little bit about this before the show, and I messaged with Cheech that we need to get you guys together so you can get that information out there.
We don't pay enough attention to, by the way, we don't pay enough attention to Kushner. We started mocking him to start the show, and then we got sidetracked. But like the Kushner angle is like that guy continues to skate. So I'm excited to talk a little Kushner today.
Oh, yeah.
I really am.
Shane knows a ton on that.
And I think that's what I want to do, because when you texted me and we spoke, I think tomorrow, I don't know what Shane's schedule, we're going to go over his schedule, but tomorrow, what's his name? Zelensky is going to be meeting with Trump at Mar-a-Lago. We might maybe do a special, because I have some sources that might be sitting around there listening. So we might do a special tomorrow with
absolutely.
Shane. And so everybody keep your alerts on. But definitely we're going to talk about it. And we're going to bring Shane up as soon as I see him here. It's a little delayed here. I don't know why the Substack is. But I wanted to bring Nick up in the meantime, because Nick is another independent journalist. This is another part of what we talk about Substack when we talk about independent journalism. This is another person that we need to follow, subscribe, and to support, because these are individuals that are out there really doing their thing. They're really out there without corporate sponsors, without big platforms, doing whatever they can to be able to get the truth out. And some of these people have incredible sources, incredible knowledge from where they served, what they did, and what they know, to be able to, and the investigative work that they do. And that is why, again, we talk about, we need, and that's what I think the movement is more, not a divisive movement where we want to attack Midas or Acosta. Folks, that's not what we do. Our movement is, we want to unite. We want them to wake up and give independent journalism the platforms that they deserve to be able to get the real news out there. We want to stop turning Substack into corporate media like CNN and MSNBC, because that's what it's becoming. We want it to stay independent journalism. We want there to be, there's Shane. I got him right there, I think.
Yeah, kick me off for a bit. I was just going to say, before you kick me out, if you need to or want to, Banner and Backbone is open to host, and I'm happy to moderate for a panel, because I know I can help keep some of the cool heads in level head if needed. But I'm open to moderate and help host that.
Absolutely.
Do the tech side for you. We can listen up to 10 folks at a time on our show.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
So if we need it, you've got space. Like I said over the weekend, and we're trying to do everything we can to support the Ukrainian side and how we can connect folks across the board. So I appreciate all the support, Lev.
Nick,
you guys are freaking awesome.
Dude, you're incredible. It's people like you,
I'll
dude.
stick around too.
Stick around,
pull me back up. Yeah, I'll definitely be here.
You got it, brother. Thank you. I'm going to bring
Thanks,
Shane
Nick.
up.
Thanks, guys.
Nick.
Good to see you. We'll see you again very, very soon. Nick Perro, ladies and gentlemen, give him a follow and hit that Chiron at the top. We're taking all of your questions, and we're bringing people up, including Shane Urak from the Firebrand Project.
Yeah, hold on.
We're going to get it back. He's one of those smart young, I don't even know if he qualifies as a millennial.
Is he a millennial?
I think he's like Gen Z or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know how the shit works anymore. There's like boomers, and there's Gen X, me, and then millennials after that.
This thing is okay. Let me try to do something. Hold on a second, guys. I am so bad with this. I need help. Shit. Let's see. Let's try this again.
We do. We need a producer. If someone out there would like to produce a show between Lev and
that's how we have a GoFundMe. We're trying to. That might be a good time to promote the GoFundMe, because because that's what we're trying to do, to get from somebody to be able to. What is going on here? Hold on, see.
By the way, 57 minutes ago, Mark Carney just announced another $2.5 billion worth of economic assistance to Ukraine. That just happened to unlock additional financing from the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, to help rebuild the Ukraine. That just literally happened, ladies and gentlemen. Canada to the rescue yet again.
Shane, my brother, just say hi or something again. I'm going to catch you right now, and I'm going to bring you up. I don't know. This is weird for some reason. In the meantime, while we're getting Shane up, why don't we go through answer some questions, maybe, if you have any there, Dean, while I look.
Yeah, I got a lot of questions. Now we're going to kind of try to make sure that we get these questions to as many of them as we can. You can DM us as well. You can also hit us up here in our DMs. You can put them in the chat. Still a lot of heat about the Cohen stuff. Are you guys going to remain friends? This is one of my favorite questions here. Are you and Michael going to remain friends, or is this something that you can work past knowing your history?
It's all up to Michael. I mean, if Michael comes clean and it is, helps be able to do what he says, save our democracy, and continue coming truth. I see why not. You know what I'm saying to you? We're all on the same side. I mean, I don't, I'm not somebody that's going to keep grudges forever. People make mistakes. I understand he's trying to, clean up his name, but, using my son was just not the right way to go about it. But if Michael does decide to come out and help join our team and help tell the truth and get absolutely. I would put everything behind and continue being friends and join forces to save our democracy. Absolutely.
Zahaya says, Lev, when you're a solid person, it's a lonely place, but don't give up. She wanted you to know.
Oh, thank you so much. I could tell you one thing. I give you my vow because of all of you, I'm never giving up. I mean, we've built not only, this is not a community, this is a family. We turned this into a movement. We are the biggest part of the resistance out there. So I promise you, as long as you guys have my back, I have your back, I'm not going anywhere. And that's why, like I said, we're not here to make friends. We're here to build a family of people that want to see. We might not agree on all these policies. I'm sure none of it. We don't. I'm sure because this is not a platform about policies. This is a platform about real humanity, real common people, real people that might disagree on taxes or disagree on certain things, but we agree on one thing. We agree on that we want our kids to be able to live in a free democracy. We agree that we don't want dictatorship. We agree that we don't want tyrants. We agree that we don't want authoritarianship, and that is what our platform is about. So that's why I keep saying it. Thank you to each and every one of you to continue to growing it, because we need to get bigger and louder, and that's how they notice. Because think about it, when we came out, they noticed. Midas noticed. People are noticing. What we're talking about is important because this is part of getting the truth out. This is part. We are not dividing our cut. This is very important for everybody to understand. And this is what Ellie said and Zev said, what we're doing, this is not trying to divide us to be able to say everybody. Some people are saying we need to unite together. That's right. We do need to unite, but you need to unite. Sometimes you got to open up the eyes, because right now we are divided. The fact that we're not talking, the fact that they're not reporting and using, the fact that all these big platforms that have millions of followers are not reporting on independent journalists, breaking news or independent stuff, that means we're divided. That means right now, that is what we're calling out. We're saying, here's the problem. I'm not saying like the problem is the people. I'm saying I found the problem. The problem is we're divided. We're not getting enough coverage, because when they put when they put misinformation out there, they spread it like wildfire. We're trying to fight misinformation. The only way you could do it is if we're stronger. Thank you, Debbie. Stronger together. And that's what we're trying to do. So I'm just trying to open up people's eyes. I'm trying to say, Michael, wake up. I know you might be scared. I know you might have things in your closet. It might be tough to go into, maybe personal, business, friendships. And I understand that. That's why when I went to prison and I made the choice to go out and tell the truth, I lost all my friends. I lost my whole life. I had to leave everything behind, because otherwise I would not be able to sit here and talk the way I talk. Because
you'd have no currency. You'd have no currency in this conversation.
I'd have to protect people also. I couldn't sit here and talk about this because, I'm still friends with this guy and I couldn't do it. That's why I had to cut all ties with everything I had and start life all over. That's why they say born again, kind of. I never understood what it means. It's really the truth when you're born again, because you're starting fresh. That's why I don't care about talking behind the scene. I have nothing in my closet. Everybody knows everything about me. I have the documentary, the book, everybody. So I feel good being born, because now I could be able, and that's why I'm saying to Michael, you'll feel much better. The truth will set you free, my brother. You know what I'm saying to you, and that's what I want him to do, because I think he does have a lot of information that could help a lot of the stuff that's going on, that can connect a lot of dots. But I think it would be detrimental in the world and the life that he lives in. And I understand that. But enough is enough. And like I said, we're at a point where we need to be able to save our democracy and to be able to unite. So this is a message of unity. And same thing goes for the Midas guys. Love them. I think, they could be doing such tremendous, much better work, but they need to get out of it. Nobody cares about going out there and interviewing Hakeem Jeffries. Nobody cares about you going interviewing all of these, senators and congressmen. We see them on CNN. Why do we need to see them on you? Just think about it. What is the point of you going on? Jamie Raskin goes on CNN. A lot of people go to me. They say, like, how come you don't have like Raskin all this? Like, because I'm not a what's it called, journalist. It's not a show for me. I'm not like sitting here. What am I gonna sit here and tell you? If you want to, he's just been on CNN. He's been on Fox. He's been on all of these, telling you what you want to hear. I'm trying to break news for you too. So I speak to Raskin and them off scene, telling them just like I tell you this, because I want to be able to save our democracy. I'm trying to build a team of people to be able to strategically go out there and really take back what we're losing. People don't realize that they sometimes think that it's a show. They forget that we're fighting here, and they're like, oh. So that's why I want to say to you, folks, this is not for anybody out there that thinks that I'm trying to cause destruction, or I'm trying to. Somebody wrote, one person wrote, oh, he's probably a Republican plant and trying to now turn the Democratic Party upside down. Folks, telling the truth should not turn anybody upside down. Asking questions, hard questions, should not turn anybody upside down. We should not live in any echo chamber. It shouldn't be left, right. We should forget those two terms, left and right. We all bleed the same. We all have, you could pinch, we all hurt, we all have a heart. We all, some of us don't use it. Some of us don't use our brains, but we're all human beings. And the point of it should be, right now, it shouldn't be about party. It shouldn't be about religion. It shouldn't be about a color. It shouldn't be about anything. It should be about one thing. It should be about saving our humanity, saving our, common sense, so we could democracy, so we could move on, so our kids could have a better life, so our grandkids. Because right now we're going backwards. Think about all the things we lost in 10 months that it took us how many years to gain. Just a simple fact, I keep going back about women's rights. Just think about it, folks. I have a wife. I have 3 daughters, excuse me. And one of them is, I have so many kids, you forget. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Shit.
Holy fuck, I love you so much.
Don't kill me. 4 sons, but I have 3 daughters, and I have an incredible daughter-in-law that, my son Aaron's wife, I'm saying to you, and to watch, the fact that they have to figure what city, what state to live in because of the way the laws are set up with abortion. And this is America 2025. Just think. Oh, I think I saw Shane. Hold on a second. Shane, I'm sorry, bro. This thing keeps going so fast. I keep missing you, but I think I caught you here. Oh my God.
We may have a Shane sighting, ladies and gentlemen, which interrupted maybe one of the great Lev rants of all time, which is a real shame because you were flowing, my man.
Sorry.
But you bring up some great points, and there's one more question someone wants to ask you, but and I'll get to in just a second. But you bring up great points because you have nothing to hide. You put it on Front Street. Conversations that you have about conflict, whether it be with Cohen or Midas, you put it on Front Street. You have those conversations in front of other people. You don't shit talk. And when people have intentions to hide, it makes them kind of go into dark corners in their minds. And with Cohen, the number one question for a lot of people here today is like, and this has been asked hundreds of times. We've been doing this now for almost 2 hours. We've got several thousand people watching. But do you think he's a double agent, or is he just protecting himself? I'm paraphrasing a whole bunch of different questions in that one thing. We'll get to Shaner in just a second. My man, Shane Urak, Firebrand Projects here.
What's going on, guys?
Thoughts on the double agent stuff, and then we'll get to Shane and some Kushner business.
Absolutely. So, first of all, welcome, Shane. Finally, I got you up here, brother. You understand?
Hey, we had to work for it, man.
The technology is not my best part, but I figured it out. I'm persistent.
Yes. No, you did it, bro. You did it. It's all good, man. You got there.
Yeah. So, no, I do not think Michael Cohen is a double agent. I truly, I know, like I said, I know the life he lived. I know the people he's been around. I know, and it's, so he did not cut all ties. I could tell you that.
Yeah.
And that is why he has the catch 22. He lives in a world, his whole life, that high society, Donald Trump, that clique, where I think in all reality Michael Cohen misses it. I think he would give everything up to be back in that clique. I think that's why he worked for Donald Trump for 14 years. And I'm not trying to, again, it's not a bad thing I'm saying to you, but that's what I think I think he would, and that's why I think he has such anger and stuff like that over other people getting pardons and him not getting a pardon, and all this type of stuff and going on. So I don't think he's a double agent. I don't think he's. I just from my sources, there's nobody in Trump world that would even speak to him. So I don't know who he'd be a double agent for. But I'm saying to you, but I think he's hiding a lot of stuff because I think maybe because of personal stuff with his own family. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm going to tell us while Shane is on here. But a lot of people, I'll give you another little secret that a lot of people don't know. So I'm the person, when Michael found out about this, he almost had a heart attack because he never knew this also. And I'm going to put this out there later in a letter to show you guys. I'll write a letter, a little history about it. But if you go back to when Michael Cohen got raided and they went after him, there was a period of time when Rudy Giuliani and these guys were going after Michael Cohen, trying to promise him pardons to be able for him to say, and nobody knew where Michael Cohen stood. God, and that's why I'm such a believer that God is great and the way things work out my whole life. Those of you see my documentary could see that only God could have saved me from all the crazy shit I've been a part, and I'm still here to talk about it. But I always stayed in Manhattan, and I always stayed in this, I'm not gonna say which, at the Trump Hotel. I stayed at Trump International. That was the hotel. That was my place. This is where we would go. And for some reason, my secretary messes up and books me at a different place. I forgot the name of the hotel she booked me, either Carlisle or whatever. Happened to be the hotel where Michael Cohen was living at the time. As I come downstairs and I'm going outside to get in my car, I make a wrong turn, and instead of going out, I actually walk into a restaurant. And as I walk into this restaurant, I see in the corner of my eye, in back of the restaurant, I see Michael Cohen sitting there with what's his name, Al Sharpton. I was like, holy shit! This is before we even knew that Michael Cohen flipped on Donald Trump. This is when he got raided. He was having already talks with the Democrats and Sharpton and trying to figure out how he could, use his information. I snapped that picture. I still have that picture. I showed it to Michael, and I'll show it to you guys. And I sent it to Trump. I showed Michael how I texted to Trump. When Trump seen that picture, that's when the whole shit blew up. So what people don't know is Trump and Giuliani made me the point man to get all the dirt on Michael Cohen. So for the next 2 months, all I sat there, when I showed Michael Cohen all the dirt that I was collecting on him and sending to he almost had a heart attack. He asked me to send him that stuff because he wanted to sue Trump and go after him, whatever, I don't know. So what I'm saying to you is, I know he knows a lot. And my recommendation to Michael is you will feel a lot better if you just come clean, my brother. Just, the truth will set you free. And I promise you will probably be a hero because he knows a lot in a certain period of time that has nothing to do with Stormy Daniels and has nothing to do with $130,000 that Donald Trump got convicted for. That was just the least of all the things that
Child's
Michael knows.
play. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. You're not around him for 14 years. Another guy that I'm interested in too. Fucking well said, Lev Parnas. Give Lev a follow, ladies and gentlemen. Just wrapping up coffee and tea. Will be another 10:15. We wanted to bring Shane in because, like what Lev loves to do, which is what we love to do. We love to go find people to do the real work and amplify that real work. If you don't follow the Firebrand Project, you should hit that Chiron at the top. Give Shane a follow. Shane, you've been on Jared Kushner for a while. I know that you have done several deep dives, watched a couple of shows where you've really sort of kind of lit a wick underneath the whole, what is Kushner's involvement with Trump? Why is he there? And what kind of individual are we talking about here? I find it interesting that we really don't know anything about him, other than what we know about him. But how boring is it to look into the life of Jared Kushner? I guess that's my question.
To be honest with you, it's not boring at all. In fact, I think, when we talk about Jared Kushner, um, you know, and I'm very curious to talk to you about this, Lev, because the more I know, the more I get to know about Jared Kushner. And then the second deep dive I've done into him, and like you said, the Kushner files, I'm working on the third one right now, which is all about affinity partners. Okay. So that's like his company. But Jared Kushner is interesting because his entire involvement, in the Trump sphere, a lot of it came, I think, from my understanding of a place of desperation because of the mistakes that Jared Kushner made when he was 26, 27 years old. And he was young and reckless and trying to be, someone his dad was grooming him to be, who he never, ever is going to be. Um, Understanding Charles Kushner is key to understanding why Jared Kushner is the way he is. Because they called Charles Kushner the Jewish Kennedy. The guy was he was a gangster. He was a real fucking gangster. And he ended up taking down his family. He tore his family apart. He blew up the Kushner dynasty because his family went to the FBI on him, on Charles. And Jared stayed with Charles. And Charles ended up literally hiring someone to tape his sister's
With a prostitute.
husband
With the prostitute.
banging a
hooker?
prostitute,
Yeah.
a hooker,
Yep.
and released it as vengeance.
Yep.
Charles did like 14 months, I think.
By
Okay.
the way, just so for Shane, not to interrupt you, so for everybody to know, the person that Shane is giving you this wonderful bio about is the ambassador, is our ambassador to France.
Yes, he fucking is.
This
Yes,
is our
he
ambassador to France. I just wanted to give you guys an example. Continue, Shane.
Yes, absolutely. And so
Who literally walked out of jail on a pardon and walked into Paris to become the fucking ambassador to France. Anyway, continue for this crime about setting his brother-in-law up with a hooker and a television. Yes, go ahead.
It's true. And so when I look at Kushner, there's two things I think that really stand out. One, he's a weak man who is playing at groveling at the boots of powerful people because he's only ever been that for his father. And he doesn't know how to do anything else. And he wants to be a Charles Kushner. He wants to be a Jewish Kennedy, but he can't. Now, when you look at historically Kushner's involvement, going back to the blockade of Qatar, okay, and what that actually was about, which how he levied his influence, he got his practice to do what he does now, bailing himself out of a $1.8 billion fuck up to buy a 40+ Manhattan skyline tower called 666 Fifth Avenue. Ironic as fuck. Yes.
Ironic as fuck is that's where me and Rudy would always be on top. We would have is the cigar bar where what's it called, where we would always meet and 666. Yeah.
And so
satanic.
You have to and you look at basically he buys this property in 2007. And then right after this property is bought, 2008 hits. By 2010, they value the property, which they bought with the majority of their own money, their own capital, as well as a $1.2 billion loan, that Kushner had to really kind of, it was not, people weren't really willing to loan at the time because
That's
the
what
market was bad. So
that's what the Qataris screwed the most. Remember, that's where the
yes,
Trump
and
got pissed at the exactly.
yes, and so basically Qatar, they were going to provide. I want to say it was $500 million. And then they were getting the rest. Kushner and Charles, they went to China. They actually talked to Dmitriev. I believe this was when they first were introduced to these Russian people. Was Russia was looking into potentially financing this as well. This goes all the way through 2020, 2021, when the
Well,
blockade ends.
well, they first met in 2017 in Saudi Arabia. Kirill
Yes,
Dmitriev and Kushner met. MBS introduced them at behind the scenes, and Witkoff was there
yes,
with them, which me and you will go into, and we'll do a whole dive, and we'll
yes.
do a special about Kushner. But while Shane is here, and since Kushner is his specialty, I'm going to give you some things to look into before we talk, and then when we talk, we'll go into more. So I'll give you guys a little story time with Lev about
breadcrumbs. Story time with Lev, ladies and gentlemen. I love this time. Sometimes
So
it comes with pictures from his phone too, ladies and gentlemen. So it's good.
here we go. You asked for it. So you, so we had at some point. Okay, so let me take you. So there's this famous video cassette that my partner took of a dinner me and Trump were having, where I tell him get rid of the U.S. ambassador. He tells her to get rid of it, and that's what most people got out of that whole hour and a half. That 5 minutes out of the hour and a half video of the dinner. But in that dinner, we also, what a lot of media didn't pick up on, is me talking to Trump about cannabis, about me having Trump legalize cannabis, and Trump talking about nominating me to make me the head of the bipartisan cannabis committee. You also hear on that recording Donald Trump Jr. jumping around saying, "Hey, Dad, cannabis is better than alcohol. Yes, there's so many more deaths, but smoking pot is not as bad as drinking." I mean, I welcome everybody to go listen to that tape. What I'm saying
What would
to
it
you.
be called? Like what would I search?
Just I released it. It's the tape of where the ambassador, where Trump says get rid of the U.S. ambassador with Lev
Yeah.
Parnas.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay. I remember that.
So from there, what happened was after that dinner, I started putting together a committee of all the biggest cannabis owners, and I got them all to Washington D.C. and they said to me, "Okay, we need to go. How do we do this?" So I spoke to some people, and Trump told me, goes, "I want Ivanka to handle this." I said, "Great." I said, "Let's do a dinner." So I set up a dinner with me, Ivanka, Jared Kushner, and 8 of the biggest cannabis, in Washington, D.C. Hold on a second. This was when, while I'm doing this, years, because I got so many
LPs,
pictures.
by the way, they're called licensed producers of cannabis. LPs, 8 of the biggest in the United States of America. Afria would be one of them. I don't know if Canopy's in the States, but there's some big names. 710 Labs. There's some great producers of excellent cannabis in the United States. And if you are wondering if I am a proponent of it, the answer is absolutely yes, I am. I'm Canadian. Of course, I'm a proponent of cannabis. Ladies and gentlemen.
And so my
Donald Trump Jr. was right.
He's very, very rarely right, but he was right on that one.
Yeah.
Because Daddy doesn't know that he's been partaking for a while. Hold on a second.
Yeah, pot's the least of his issues. By the way, I just want to point that out.
So this is one of the biggest cannabis. This is on the day of the cannabis, and this is wait.
Oh, that's the cannabis meeting. That's Kushner and CEO. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
There we go. Me, Kushner, Ivanka. This is right before our meeting going on. So this was October 10th. Wow, October 10th, 2000. Wow, this is so crazy. This was exactly a year to the day of my arrest, because I got arrested October 10th, 2019. So we had our cannabis meeting October 10th, 2018. So just to tell you, so what I was going to say to you is, what you're seeing play out and why Trump, the family is very creative. Trump right hand has always been Ivanka.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that in what they're seeing right now play out, what Kushner is doing, the real brains behind Kushner is Ivanka. Kushner is the front man. That's basically and I really saw it in that meeting when we had that between the cannabis. First of all, if you ever sat with Kushner, the way he talks, I mean, he's like, I can't even imagine him sitting. I can't imagine him sitting with Vladimir Putin. I swear to you, I wish I was a flyer though. I just because I know Witkoff and just sitting there with Vladimir Putin for 4.
Lev, I have a question for you.
Just a couple of ferrets. Yeah.
So, Richard Grinnell. Okay?
Oh, know him very well.
Richard Grinnell. I'm trying to fucking place this guy because Serbia and let's see. There's 2 countries. There's Serbia and
Venezuela.
He was also the ambassador to Germany.
Well,
but there's a picture of Grinnell, Kushner, and Ivanka. And like I'm like sitting there and I'm trying to figure out because if Ivanka is kind of the right hand and Kushner's the Middle East, I guess what I would try and figure out is because did you just see the Belgrade deal fell through in Serbia? They pulled their front.
I did.
So you didn't. So that's one of the big things they've been doing over in Serbia is trying to develop this former military base in Belgrade. And they passed legislation. They actually lobbied the president of Serbia and they passed legislation to allow them to go around historical protections to do this. So it's interesting to see that, like, I suspected that Ivanka was a powerful part here, but
Ivanka's
it
the
makes
brain.
more sense going back to their marriage and then seeing how, Kushner can't wear the pants, right?
No, she's the brains. She's the brains, and now she's staying behind the scenes because the image. That's why in the first administration she came out. She was there. She was the one. That's why you heard she was the common head in the cool head in the situation. It was her and Kushner, and then in this time you didn't see them at all. They disappeared, and that's why I kept saying no. They didn't disappear. They're just in the background. Now you see them coming out. Now you see Kushner. You're going to see Ivanka come out more and more also. Now, if we do not win the 2026, if we don't get the House, that's why it's so imperative for us to get the House. But we will go. We're going to dive into a lot of Kushner, a lot of stuff that's going on because especially what's happening right now in Ukraine, especially with what the conversation, what they're planning on doing in the Middle East. Also, not only that, but things that they're working on here, with their oligarchy groups that they're trying to do other deals around the country, where like Venezuela, like Rick Grinnell. I'll give you, you bring it up, give you another quick story time with Levin, then we'll let Shane go and try to finish it.
I gotta walk some dogs.
Yeah, you got absolutely. So Rick Grinnell you're right, the ambassador of Germany. When we were dealing just our shadow diplomacy, we had an oligarch in Vienna that was supposed to be extradited to the United States. He was helping us with the Biden stuff and helping us with the Trump stuff. So I'll never forget one of Trump's lawyers, Victoria Tunzing, calling. We were waiting for the extradition paperwork to come in, and so she called up because this oligarch paid $1 million to Rudy Giuliani and Victoria Tunzing to retain him. Paid me $200,000 to be the translator. I mean, everything is out in the open to do this. But the reason why he paid $1 million to was because Rick Grinnell gave us the heads up if they were coming to extradite him, because they would have to go through the German embassy because he was the lead point. So when the paperwork came in, I'll never forget get Grinnell calling up Tunzing saying they're going to extradite him in 48 hours, and then Tunzing calling Bill Barr saying that can't happen. And for those of you that don't know what transpired, this oligarch just got released through the Trump administration. He is no longer on extradition. It's nowhere nobody talks about, but you could look into that also, Shane. His name is Dmitry Firtash, and take a look at that story. So yeah, there's a
How do you
lot.
spell his last name, Lev?
Firtash, Dmitry Firtash.
Yeah, that was your guy. That was your point guy in Ukraine,
Yeah,
right?
He's Putin's right. I mean, he's the biggest oil and gas distributor. He controls 30% of oil and gas all over Eastern Europe. So yeah, you could say that.
Wow. Very
yeah,
interesting.
so take a look at that. There's a lot more we're gonna break up. Shane, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Shaner.
Thank you guys for having me. It was
absolutely
good to be here.
Everybody,
Anytime,
make sure go give Shane a follow. Real independent journalism. We're gonna do some stuff this week about Kushner. I'm so happy that you're digging into him, because I have a lot of stuff you can help me also connect some of the dots, so that we'll come to you and we'll connect the dots to you guys about that. Shane, have a great day, my brother.
Hey, thank you guys.
Thanks, pal.
I will
Great
talk
to
to
see
you
you.
guys all later. Bye-bye.
You betcha. Bye-bye. Shane Urak, one of the true ones, one of the good ones. Him, Nick, everybody we've had, Ellie, Zev, everybody today. They all share something in common, is that they would rather write the truth. They'd rather share the truth. They'd rather get to the bottom of it than whitewash it or look for subs or look for clicks. That's why we're here. We don't give a shit about any of that stuff. That is the purpose of Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean. We're building a community. We're helping others. We're amplifying voices, and we're doing it for the right reasons, because we're here for that reason. We are you. We've said that time and time again. Really important to hit that Chiron at the top. Give Zev and Lev a paid sub right at the top. Hit that today if you can. I'd really appreciate it. We all would. Keeps us moving forward. It keeps us in your life. Keeps us talking. This format we both love, and I want to encourage everybody to take part in this. It's a special Saturday thing that we do for paid subscribers, where we talk to you, we bring you up, you rant, you rave, we help you connect dots, you help us connect dots. You ask the question, you drive this entire hour to 2 hours, and we've got thousands of people watching now, because people like Lev take time out of their day to say, hey guys, I'm here for you because I am you. We want to save democracy. That's the importance of Coffee and Tea with Lev and Dean. A couple very important things that I want everybody to do. I'm going to turn it over to Lev. We just watched your Voice of Ukraine partner literally get rolled by an what appears to be some kind of drone. He's out of the hospital. Actually, he's in hospital. He's watching now. His name's Alex. Everybody say hi to Alex Bolbier, Voice of Ukraine. We really need you to fill up that GoFundMe. We're going to post here for everybody. And I'll turn it over to you if you can, and then we can get to the media play, and then we'll say goodbye to everybody. But go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about Alex and what happened yesterday.
Yeah, please. So yes, please, folks. Actually, we're gonna hopefully. I'm speaking to his family. We're gonna put together a little GoFundMe for his medical expenses and whatever. I don't know what that is yet, so that's why we haven't done it. But for now, if you can, please continue supporting the. We have. I think Alex has 20 or something more generators left to deliver, and I know he's not going to be able to do it, but we have people on the ground that will deliver these generators. People need them, so please continue supporting the GoFundMe, so we could continue bringing light and bringing help to people in the Ukraine area. They need us more than ever now. After what's going to happen tomorrow, probably Ukraine is going to be more on their own. Today was a very overnight. Kiev got bombarded. The way Alex told me, Kiev was on fire. And this is pure terrorism. And the only way we'll be able to survive, beat dictatorship, authoritarianship, is if we unite together. And I know it's difficult. There's so many different places. Everybody's asking for money. A lot of people need it. And I understand it. And I'll just tell you this much. Whatever you can, no pressure, because I don't want anybody to feel that I'm pressuring you to do something because you have to know. No pressure. If you can, if God gave you the opportunity and you're fortunate enough that you're able to share, would be a good cause to be able to help the people of Ukraine. So we'll share the GoFundMe. If any of you have it, put it in the message. I'll put a letter for those of you who are joining late. Me and Dean will put this out later also, and we'll put the GoFundMe and the links there to be able to continue supporting Ukraine.
Yeah, thank you. Well said. And of course, the media play, we're going to put both of those in there too. So what you can do is you can donate to either. Please, Ukraine top of mind. That's the most important thing. Whatever you do, whether you're a free or paid subscriber, that's great. But let's help the people of Ukraine. A very personal story. And if you go back to Lev's timeline, you can see, a real emotional please. A picture of Alex just after they got hit by that drone, and he's going to be okay. A couple of other guys are seriously injured, but we'll keep you up to date. If you could hit the GoFundMe, we'd really appreciate it. As always, Lev Parnas. Lev remembers, subscribe. He is number one in world politics for a reason, because he truly gives a shit. Absolute pleasure to do this with you every weekend, my friend. Every weekend.
Dean, God bless you, my brother. I love you, and thank you for fighting the good fight, being one of the people that really wants truth and transparency, and that's what we. And I hope you guys really, the show was for you today. I wanted to make sure and I apologize in advance if earlier in the week I was maybe a little bit aggressive, emotional, but I think all of you are parents and can understand as a parent when you see somebody trying to take advantage of your son or your daughter, you just that's something, especially in my life, you don't do. But otherwise, putting all the emotions aside, I want it clear-headed for everybody to understand. We are on a mission. This platform that we built here on Substack, that we keep talking about unity, is about getting out the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about building another CNN. It's not about building another. I don't want to see Substack turned into another X. We don't need echo chambers. We don't need people just give the same opinions and turn us into, because that's what cults are all about. Because if you listen to one side or the other and you don't get the truth and the real stuff, you can't make the right decisions. So for those of you that want the truth, the transparency, and don't want just opinions, please continue subscribing to people like Dean, people like Ellie, people like Zev, people like Shane, and hopefully myself, because the only reason I want to build this platform bigger than anything is so we could be more powerful than them all, because our information, we're risking our lives to be able to bring you this, because some of my sources, I can't even tell you, I don't know how much longer they'll be in some of the positions they're in. I don't know how much longer we'll be able to do, the things that we're doing. So that's why, we need to take advantage of the opportunities that we have. And that's why sometimes I'm a little bit passionate about it, but I just want to know, because it's for each and every one of you. Because, when you subscribe, when you become a paid subscriber, I read your messages, I read your DMs. You make me cry when I see some of the people saying, Lev, I'm waiting for my social security check to be able to pay this month. Lev, I just donated to Alex, I didn't donate to someone, but I donated to Alex. Or Lev, I want to make sure that I listen to stuff, but I don't know I'm subscribed to, and I'm trying to save up to $8. My heart breaks, because honestly, I wish I could do this for free. I wish in reality that that there was some billionaire or corporate media sponsor that came and said, here, Lev, let me give you what's it called, so you could just go there. So, because I don't want the paywalls, I don't want this stuff. I want to be able to give it, but unfortunately, we have families. We have to eat. We have to live. We have to survive, and that is why we keep asking you to become paid subscribers, to follow us, to do share this all over the place, to be able so we could do this full time, because right now there's nothing more important than to save our democracy, folks. So God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us and spending these 2 hours on a Saturday with Lev and Dean. I hope we answered a lot of your questions. I apologize if a lot of you didn't get your questions answered, didn't get up. We're trying to fine tune as much so we could get, because the show is for you, to get more of you up and more of you, and we will do it. So make sure, we'll get you more questions up, more of you up here. Today it was more important to get some of these people, some of these independent journalists up here to give you, so this way you guys really got to see what independent journalism is, and understand what our fight is for and what we're upset about. So when people tell you, oh, Lev is angry at his son, or Lev's not feeling good, or Dean doesn't know what's going on with Zev, or Zev is it, those are people that are, trying to, those are the shit stir-ups, because we're all healthy, we're all fine.
We're good.
We're all good. We all understand. We all, and we all want one thing. We all want the truth. So, guys, I want Wish you guys a happy holidays, whatever holiday you're celebrating. We will definitely see you before the New Year. So I'm not going to say it because we have a lot of going on. There's a lot of things happening, especially tomorrow with the press conference, with the meeting with Zelensky and Trump. So we're going to.
Oh yeah, we'll be in your phone all weekend long, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Tomorrow and Monday.
Monday, yeah, Monday's a big one. We have 11:30. Make sure I'll put it out there. 11:30. We have, and I'll put the name on everything of the lawyer for the Epstein survivors, which is going to be a big show. You don't want to miss it. We're going to cover a lot of the stuff we're talking about now, and then right after 1:00, we're going to do our usual weekly wrap up with me and Dean. So you don't want to miss that because that's when we're going to wrap up all of this stuff over the weekend and stuff and bring it to you. So definitely put that on your calendar and make sure you put your notices on.
Buddy, as always, love you. Thanks for having coffee and tea with me today.
Take care. Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a
Bye,
great
guys.
day.